All right, everyone. Hope you're all doing good today. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for another episode of Speedruns From the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix. I'm your host, Dices, and we are back. I hope you all had a fun week watching a GDQ. It's always a fun time. Fun to check out all the runs, always good time with the horror block, and a lot of good games in general. And today I thought I would just pull up a collection of games I think are pretty fun to kind of say welcome back. It's always a fun show to put on, just good variety of stuff, and hopefully you'll all enjoy these. We have some familiar and maybe even some new in terms of gaming category, but I think we'll have a fun show today. Before I do get into the games, though, just as a couple of announcements for you. While the fun of AGDQ may be done, we do have some more events coming on up. If you think you can speedrun blindfolded, GDQ Hotfix is hosting a special Games Done Blindfolded showcase on February 21st and the 22nd. And submissions are currently open. If you want to take part, type !GDB in chat for more details. As well, just a hello to the YouTube side. If you ever miss any of the Hotfix shows, special events, GDQ marathons, and more, you can check it out over on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching, hello. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, turn notifications, stay up to date with GDQ. Alrighty, so for games, I got a couple of fun. I got 4 of them for you today. A little bit more than we usually run, but I thought it would be kind of fun to have some shorter games today, some good variety. And this next run is probably one of my favorite runs I have learned in the last couple of years. If you have never seen it, it is going to be wicked cool. It is probably one of the most technical games you might even like. It'll be very unexpected. I'll just put it that way. I hope you're ready to see it. We're going to be having Manhunt 90% with Jay here. Take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jay here. I have today for you the speedrun for Manhunt 80% Out of Bounds. Now, this category is using every possible trick in the book. I'd love to showcase my strats before we begin, because just to keep you up to speed, because it's about to get really crazy. There's a lot of levels that we've completely turned down to nothing. So basically, we are going to be using the out of bounds technique, which is just we peek towards any side, left or right, and then we use our first person button, which is this, to basically clip into things and just flip through the level. What we're gonna do is use that throughout the most of the run. And also another strategy that we kind of started, I believe Hippo from the Manhunt community found this, and I've kind of developed it, and also Ignis. Basically, we're gonna be using the J clip, which allows us to just flip out of bounds, and you guys are about to see we are gonna fly into the end of level checkpoint, essentially just finishing the level immediately without needing to do any real gameplay. Anyways, time to begin the run. I believe those are the strats I'm gonna be using for this whole category. Now, there is some levels on which I'm not gonna be using it, because there's some levels that have like item checkpoints, which you need to get certain items or kill certain enemies, and it just wouldn't work. But it works for, I think, like half of the levels in the game. I believe there's like 8 or like 10 levels you can do this on.
For reference as well, time will begin once this little cutscene is done. It's unskippable cutscene, so we can always enjoy this whenever run begins.
It's up to you.
Timing begins right as gameplay starts.
Action.
But feel free to just
begins. All right, so for this early level, we're not gonna be doing anything fancy. This level doesn't have a J clip we can use. We're just gonna do the normal individual level speedrun. We just clip through a few things, and usually this level would be pretty scary. There'd be fighting sections and stuff, but we don't care about any of that. We just clip right through everything. I gotta clip carefully here, and then just hopefully I get it through. There you go. Perfect. That's first level. It would be so scary to play at a normal level, but these strats are insane. Look, I'm about to just fly into the end of level checkpoint, just like that, and it should be a thing. The best time on this level is like 18 seconds, but I think I'm gonna get probably like a 20. Yeah, there you go. No, whoa, I got the best time. Hey, nice. Now, I'm about to do a really complicated strat that I believe, yeah, I founded this. And most of these spots where you see me do this, I found these. So we have to punch this guy a bit so that he doesn't bother us as we're passing through. We punch a bit well after we land to not get slowed down completely. I have to very carefully hug this wall, dodge this guy on the right, flip out of bounds here, punch, and aim towards a certain direction. And I have to be cautious to keep holding Shift and W and also never move my mouse. I have to time this. React, we save, we quit, we reload. We basically skipped that entire level, a bunch of cutscenes, a bunch of fights. We just skipped like half of the level there. No, 90% of the level right there. You just have to punch through a few of these guys. That red guy came first. I'm gonna get hit a lot here, but it's fine. I have to clip through here. And that's the level done. 50 seconds. Now this level is gonna put me to the test because this skip right here isn't 100% consistent. I believe the others all are, but this one in particular, I am not sure because it tends to fail sometimes unless I do it perfectly. Hopefully I perfectly execute this because I need to like punch as I'm falling and aim towards a certain direction and it's gonna finish the level. Look, oh, I can back it up, I think. Yeah, that should work, I think. Yep. Yep. I think I got the speed. You see, this trick is really complicated, really convoluted. You need to punch as you're falling down, and if you aim towards a certain... You need to basically visually aim towards the end of level checkpoint, and just somehow the game like teleports you under the map into it and just lands you, and that's it, basically. I still don't know to this day how to properly explain the strat, but there's a level on which I think you can visually see how it's done. It is one of the hardest levels in the game, though. So we're just dodging past everything. Usually, in that part of the level, we'd have to kill all those guys and get through, but we just clip through everything. That's basically Manhunt any % out of bounds.
Yeah, for a very
we just
quick,
take the lead.
Story kind of synopsis here. The plot of the game is that you're a death row inmate who's been given, let's say, a pardon by basically being forced to participate in the world's most dangerous game. But Jay here has turned Cash into a reality warping menace who's kind of just terrifying all of these guys.
It's safety zone. We got movement.
We have to fist a few of these guys as we're passing through so that they just don't attack us. It's like a way of stunning them as we're passing through. We skipped a bunch of gameplay there. Like there's a cutscene, there's a guy with a sniper. We just skip everything. It's really, really wicked. Also, usually in this level, for example, this level would be really difficult. We'd have to, basically, the director, Starkweather, which is the guy that placed us in these wicked games, you know, where people are hunting us, kidnapped our family. You can see them like tied up to these crosses. You'd have to save them. There's, I think, 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. But we're gonna say no and just fly away, basically. And I'm about to do it in one of the goofiest ways possible. We just brush up a bit against this trash can, clip, and punch. And I believe that should be it, yeah. If I got the right speed, yeah. Sometimes it may fail. You need to aim at a certain spot for it to work. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful.
Also, while we're waiting for the next level to begin here, really quick, one of my favorite things about this game is when he's going out of bounds, you hear the screaming animation that Cash has, which is hilarious because there's like 7 different screams or something. There's a bunch of them. At no point during the game casually are you actually ever hearing it. He never falls like that.
Yeah, no, there's never any level that does this in particular. Like, there's no
weird why there's so many.
Yeah, I don't know why they recorded that many. Like, maybe they were planning on like high altitude levels. I'm not sure, but there's like so many screams you can do. This is the first shooting level. This is about to really put us to test. The shooting levels are amongst the hardest you can play in the game. Oh, that guy was very generous. He didn't hit me once. I think I'm good here.
It's okay. Okay, blast him.
Usually, what we're trying to do as we're coming through is just get hit as little as possible. Basically, that's the whole point of the shooting levels. Just never get hit and just save as much health for later, because Yeah, the aim bots, you know, the AI tends to go wacky sometimes and just start hitting every shot for some reason. It's really sometimes really weird like that. So for swagger, I'm just gonna blast this guy. And we're gonna save up, reload, because this level needs to be loaded up, because otherwise it breaks. This level is the one that's most prone to breaking. There's a lot of scripted events. We need to reload there to prevent any crashes. Also, I didn't get the hit here. That's fine though. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
So I appreciate you shooting that one guy. I know that guy tends to have less than nice insults he would tell the characters. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we're trying to just shut them up as we go through, because yeah, they can get pretty mean with what they say.
I mean, there's much more like, you know, like a lot of death row inmates. They're not the nicest people, admittedly. Also,
No,
Cash's
they're not.
family is dead. You never had really the chance to save them.
Yeah, sadly, well, Starkweather betrays us here. You know, despite that we obviously saved our family there, we didn't just fly into the end of the level. Starkweather betrays us, and he still, you know, kills our
Also,
family. Now
this
this.
mission-
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, this mission normally is really hard. You have to escort a homeless guy throughout a whole level. It's like I think like a 3-minute level. It's one of the hardest levels in the game. The gang members are gonna be like escorting this guy. Wait, Jay, what are you doing? Wait, Jay.
I'm flying. That's what I'm doing.
Well, we never
And
see
there
the
you go.
homeless guy.
No, we never do. Wait, you didn't see this before?
No, I have. I'm just doing the joke.
Yeah, we just fly away. That's it.
Yeah, that
level would
level
usually.
before that strat was a pain. I am so glad I got
Yeah.
found. It's actually a really mean one.
Yeah, that level would be like 3 minutes, and it would be really difficult. Like, you have to score the tramp around the level and keep him safe, put him in shadows. But we don't care about that. We just fly into things, and we just say GG. I was like gonna slow myself down here, but it's fine.
That's my leading man, attaboy. See you with some beers
Okay,
outside.
and here, hopefully I get the clip I need. If not, I could just back up strat it. Yeah, the clip I need. There you go. 45 seconds. Also, we're coming up on the hardest levels in the game. Like, this is like the pain gauntlet. From here on out, everything is really difficult.
Is with a stick and a gun. I want you
As
to
we've
kill
noticed as
the
well, the gangs have started getting different weapons now.
to the guard room.
We're seeing a lot more guns. We still do have the melee weapons, but late game gets pretty brutal with the amount of just guns in the arena. They kind of tear you to ribbons.
There's a hunter in the next room through the mesh door.
Yeah, it's adding more variety of weapons and many items. At this point, I think we start seeing the shotguns, the heavy shotguns. So far, we only seen the small sawed-off, but now we're gonna start seeing some really much more damaging weapons.
Some more of these paranoid crazies guarding the door.
Usually, you'd have to hunt a few of these guys and wait for them to open a gate.
They'll lock them.
But you don't have to here. We're just gonna clip through the tower here. Oh, I think I'm fine. You can't get stuck here anyways. In every clip that you guys see me do, there's a chance for you to like get irreparably stuck. On this one, I have to get stuck on purpose, actually. We have to wait for this goober to turn around. And then once he looks green like that, we can just execute him. And once we do the execution, it should place us right behind him, you know, unstocking us, basically. That's what we're doing here.
You also get to see one of the only actual executions in the game. You're supposed to like get a high score by doing more and more brutal executions. We actually do the highest one here to get the head, because this allows you to not have to drag the body.
Yeah, you'd have to drag the body into this room, but we don't need to do that. As long as you bring the head, that's why we did a red execution on him there, because it like cuts off his head and we need it. Hopefully, there's a skip here, but I'm not sure if this is gonna work. This is really tight. Okay, we need to press skip, and if we press it, nah, I didn't get it. If you press escape right before hitting that gate, it skips all of this dialogue, and it makes for like a 10-second level. It's really difficult to time though, and you have to hit it like right a millisecond before touching that gate. It's really difficult.
Also, I guess lore-wise, you won't be able to go through all the details of every single gang in the game. There are a lot of different gangs that you're fighting. They all have different themes. it's neat lore if you want to look at it like outside the run. They all have something in common though. They all want to kill Cash before, well, Cash. I think they get paid a lot of money if they kill the main character here.
Yeah, that's basically their incentive. They're like getting paid for it. But I mean, they or maybe just Starkweather just hired a bunch of psychos. I mean,
also,
you could
believe it or not,
think
this is actually an Alice in Wonderland game, except Alice is now a bald death row inmate.
Get rid of the pink dress freak.
We're chasing the rabbit.
Mr. Rabbit has left.
yeah, we have to kill that guy up there. Now we have to do a very. This is probably the level where I've gotten stuck a lot in the past, but I think I got my strengths down. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna load up the rabbit. Now, right now he's in a different part of the level. Sadly for this, to get the level to, you know, get the final checkpoint, we need to kill that rabbit and get a key he has. We need to do a precise load here and just load him up in that area we just walked in that staircase. We have to clip out of bounds and go kill him and escape the prison whilst dodging everything and doing really difficult clips.
I just want to say, so far the run's been pretty literal. I think you've only hunted one man so far.
Yeah. We barely kill in this run. Like, we only executed one guy so far.
Soon
Really?
to be two.
Soon to be two.
Well, I guess if you want to say it, this is technically a rabbit, not a guy. He's a rabbit.
Yeah, he's just a rabbit. Also, I think these are probably the hardest levels in the run. At the next one we're about to head into is probably the hardest there is on the entire speedrun.
Is that the tower climb?
The tower climb? No, it's the. Oh yeah, yes, it is. Sorry, it is the Vita They Fall.
Yeah.
The level would usually be played with stealth. You know, you would have to execute the guys and like shotgun them. But in the speedrun, it just turns into a shotgun run. Atrocious, painful shotgun run.
This level right here is absolutely brutal, and I think this is actually, let's say, the end of Cash's game. I think this is the final gang that you have to deal. Well, let's say the final, like, intended gang you have to deal with. And as a result, it ends up being probably one of the toughest levels in the game, if not the toughest. Actually, it might actually be the hardest, I think.
Yeah, it is the hardest level. Wait, we have to wait for this guy. He came out of the right way here, so it's perfect. Sometimes he can come out from the left, and we have to restart. We have to save and then reload. There's a way to backup strat it, but it isn't very consistent. I just go back. Hit that guy in the face because we can't have him around. He makes things very difficult later. We need to shoot this guy. Blast a few of these guys while we're passing through. Usually, if you struggle with aiming, you can just approach an enemy, right click and left click, and immediately aims for the heads, like that. Wow, very solid. Very solid.
Running around like a...
Usually things hit the fan right there. There's 3 enemies just piled up together. It gets really crazy. We have to make our way down the tower, hopefully dodging. Oh, I did not dodge that. I can get a heal here though, so I'm fine. All right, I'm honestly pretty good. Wow, I'm surprised now.
I've never thought to just beeline it. That makes so much more sense. Wait a minute.
We are gonna early kill Ramirez here. We're just gonna blow his head off, and we're gonna fly into the checkpoint right here. Oh wait. No, what am I doing? There you go. I got stuck there a bit, but look, this is the most visual example of a J-clip. We are just flying into the checkpoint. You can see with the little blue dot is the end of level checkpoint. We just fly into it, and we end the level just like that.
Nice. Anyway, spoiler, they betrayed you. they're killing people. They're never gonna let you live. So now the police are going to kill you and the one good character in this game, the journalist. She's been trying to get the scoop on the wicked showrunner. Normally it's just to escort her. We're not doing that. We're gonna do the J clip, go immediately to the subway. But now this level in the past is also really bad too because you had to run through the police while they just kind of shoot you. But this makes it way nicer just because, well, you don't have to deal with all the gunfire with only a brick.
Roger.
But now we're gonna make our way over to the game's director. That is the idea with the rest of the game here. So kind of taking the shift lore-wise, I guess.
Bravo probably think this is funny. You're in very serious trouble.
All right, we're just gonna do a precise clip, and it should allow us to skip through the whole area. We have to shoot here precisely to skip a cutscene. Ooh, barely, narrowly did it. That was really, really close. We have to shoot there because otherwise a cutscene would play of a bunch of cops coming out of a tunnel, and it would slow us down a lot. But we got that first try. Just have to shoot at a certain point, and it like makes them investigate, and it just disallows them from doing the cutscene basically. Right now we're about to enter another shooting section, which could get a little crazy as we always seen, but I'll be fine, I think. Okay, just blind fire that guy. We need to get a heal here before going in here.
I did not know there were clothes on him. What?
All right, now we're just gonna blind fire this guy as well. Just like that, and we're done. That's it. Really, really quick. Oh my God, I took cover there for a sec. But yeah, every shooting level has a chance to like get really crazy because the AI, as I said before, it just misbehaves and it starts doing precise shots. Like look at this. He just hit me like twice. This level is the level with which we have the most downtime. Usually we'd have to run through a yard filled with cops with SMGs. That would be really, really difficult because any weapon with like automatic fire is really damaging in Manhunt. But we don't have to do that. We just walk alongside the side of the train yard and just skip everything. I don't know why Rockstar designed this area like this.
They knew you'd be speedrunning one day.
Yeah, they prepped it up for me.
Also, the Pigman fight would be the final boss of the game, and there's a very special strategy with that. You will be seeing it. I also do want to give a shout out to the glitchless run of this as well. Obviously, it's about double the length of the 90% run we're seeing here. A lot of cool different strats you do, but honestly, the 90% run is so cool. If you haven't seen it, we had to show it.
Yeah, shout out to Ignis, Wagner, everybody from the community from Manhunt Speedruns. And also to Hippo, because he was the original one that found...
Hippo, right? Hippo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that guy's broken like every game. Like the amount of games I know that guy from, who he's in. Yeah, no, if that name shows up, your game's probably going to get broken to some degree. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I think I've seen a few of his runs.
He helped Maxi find a lot of skips for, I think, Fear 2 recently, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he's the one who originally found the strat, like, for falling. And Ignis actually showed it to me in a stream. You know, Ignis is another 90% runner. He showed it to me in a stream, and I kind of started testing it. And I found all of these spots you see me clip out of and just fly into the other checkpoints. This is another one right here. We're just gonna, this is 100% consistent. We're just gonna flip out, aim towards the right a bit, punch, and it should end the level immediately. I don't know, there's like a geometry thing with the game where it always like places you at the lowest point, and the checkpoint in here, it's always like a really low point. Here we go. This is gonna a little challenging here.
So now we're inside the Starkweather compound as well. He has his goons. They're all really heavily armed. If we're interested to... Oh, I guess we have it already, but the most dangerous weapon is the machine gun. It absolutely melts any enemy. Every bullet's doing a ton of damage, and there are a lot of guards. The bottle gets thrown to distract them. Still one by the elevator, and just gonna clip on in. Now we're on the final level. All the weapons are gone, and this is supposed to be one of the hardest areas in the game. It's just to have a fight with the final boss. I think his name's like Pigsy. Yeah, Pigsy, as you can see there. We're gonna have a very unique strat, because unfortunately, in order to beat the game, you actually do need to beat the final boss. However, there's gonna be something kind of unique here, because once you beat the final boss, you then get the death squad, which are, they're instructed, anyone who opens this door, kill. So Jay's not gonna open the door. Instead, he's gonna phase through it, and he's just gonna lob a brick at this guy until he dies.
Yeah, we're just gonna break him to death, take his rifle, and we're gonna go kill Pixie by shooting him in the head once, and that should count. We need his chainsaw now for ending the level, since the level checkpoint, like to finish it, we need to execute Starkweather. I can just walk up to him.
kind of goofy, I guess. Higgsy has a unique animation if you have a gun where he'll actually run away in fear, but like you never have a gun for this fight. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, I think he just acts like a regular hunter. If you have a gun, like normal hunters, like melee hunters, they run away from you if you have a gun, and that's basically why he runs away. But yeah, once we just walk in here and that's time right there. Time.
Go on.
GG. That was honestly, I think I peaked. I can't believe I did all the levels. Like it was almost flawless. Wow, that's crazy.
I remember when this guy was on death row like maybe 20 minutes ago.
And now he's done.
Yeah, he had a really fast sentence. We can watch a little of the little ending cutscene if you want here. You can kind of find out what happened. I believe they have it like a wrap this level, but yeah, that was indeed Manhunt.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun. I can't believe like I think the levels that I was most afraid of was Divided They Fall, and just generally anything with guns, and everything just went without a hitch. That's just impressive.
It is nice when it actually works out. The estimate was a little bit generous because all those clips can go really bad, but yeah, I'm very glad they did not in this case, especially knowing how rough the run can get.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Anyway, while we listen to our song really quick, I know you did some shout outs already, but how about if anyone wanted to watch you, find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Jay here, either on YouTube or on Twitch. Recently, I've been doing a lot of look outside content, but you know, on the side, I also do speedruns. So if you want to watch me speedrun any other game, I'm there, guys. If you want to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. I do know that Manhunt is a pretty brutal run, and you definitely killed the estimate right there. So that was pretty fun.
Wait, what time did I get? I can't see it.
21-29 apparently.
Oh my god, that's like what is that? Like second place in the leaderboards. That's crazy. Yeah. That's second place on the leaderboards. Oh my god, that was impressive.
Yeah, a lot of those skips are definitely a lot tougher than they look as well. Like very common what will happen with the J clips is when you're going out of bounds, Cash will, when he falls back in bounds, he'll just hit the ground and die. Like, if you don't get it exactly right, it's immediate death and reload.
Yeah, you need to aim towards like a specific point. Like there's always a visual thing you need to aim for the J clips to work. And the worst thing that can happen is you just land and you die. But the other thing is that you need to punch as you're falling out of bounds, and you need to keep holding the run button and the directional button and just like not move your mouse, because if you move it, it ruins the speed. It's like really techie. The skip is really techie. Honestly, I still struggle to explain how it's done to this day. Well, you know, if you learn it, you learn it. That's the insanity of Manhunt any % out of bounds.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to say thank you again for doing that run of Manhunt. It is a game I've been wanting to show off for a while on GDQ, and I'm glad you gave it a great showing. Absolutely. And I hope you all enjoyed that run of Manhunt with Jay here. If you did enjoy the run, check him out on Twitch and YouTube. A lot of Manhunt and another game called Look Outside, which I know has been making the rounds in the... All right, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hope you all enjoyed that run of Manhunt. It was definitely an honor to show it off. I hope you all enjoyed Jay's run of that. It was a game I've kind of been wanting to have on Hotfix for quite a while, so I hope you all enjoyed that. We do have plenty of more games here, though. We got 3 more tonight, and I chose this game because, you know, right after GDQ, I know that Silent Hill hype has been in the air, and there's a lot of good Silent Hill games. You've probably seen a lot of these Silent Hill games, but there's always a game that seems to fly under the radar whenever people talk about it, and I'd still like to give this game attention because I think it's a nice game. It's a nice time, a short speed run, but a fun speed run. Anyway, we're going to be checking out Silent Hill, The Short Message, featuring Nico Hart. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm back once again on the Hotfix. Thank you once again for inviting me on. This is going to be Silent Hill, The Short Message. Just before we start, hi, I'm Nico Hart. If you've never met me before, I am a UK variety streamer, currently speedrunning at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. I like to do variety gaming speedrunning of all sorts, horror mostly, and playing games with alternative controllers. You might have seen me in Passion Project speedrunning Undertale on a bicycle. That was a fun stream. Also joined by my commentator, Formagander. Please introduce yourself.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Tormented, and if you haven't seen me around, I like to play video games as well on alternative controllers, from the absurd to the more common, from potatoes all the way to steering wheels, and do speed running as well. And I'm very excited to be here with you tonight, Nico. So thank you for inviting me on for commentating.
I will try and always bring you on, man, when I can. You know I'll always try to do that. Yeah. If you haven't checked out Formagander's, oops, sorry.
I'd say before we begin, Nico, can you stream the game in Discord?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a very good idea. My apologies. Let me just
I'll for me be able to see.
Imagine being professionals, right? You know, this is just behind the scenes stuff. It's cool, everyone.
Earlier. It's all good. It's all good.
You're chill. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Formagander do potato stuff recently, they have a potato controller for Elden Ring. They're doing Liza P, Hollow Knight. They're great people to check out as well. Right, anyway, so this is the short message. So fair warning before we get into the game. This game has a lot of trigger warnings, you know, just like Silent Hill always does. But this one is very specific because of the time that it was generated around, which was supposed to be around the time of like COVID-19. So let me just go around this. It's got depictions of suicide, self-harm, abuse, trauma, and bullying, cyberbullying that some may find distressing. The premise of the game, verbatim from producer Motoi Akamoto. It deals with serious modern-day issues such as social media, bullying, cyberbullying, and suicide, and concentrates the essence of the series, the feeling of being psychologically hemmed in and cornered in a short window. Now, let me get into some speedruns. So the timer is going to start pretty much as soon as I press the accept key on chapter 1. So I'll be saying this at 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so where do we begin? So this game, we play as a girl called Anita who wakes up in an abandoned apartment complex known as the Villa within the fictional town of Kettenstadt, Germany. Maya's going to be receiving a text from, Anita's going to be receiving a text from Maya, which is a friend of her, and is also an internet famous graffiti artist known as CB, which stands for Cherry Blossoms, to come to the Villa to show her something.
Now, not only that, you'll probably notice something that's a little bit unusual for Silent Hill games. We have some modern day devices, one of which we're holding out in front of us, which is our mobile phone, which serves two useful purposes in the game. One is a flashlight, and the other is a communication between two friends, which is how our story will unfold and reveal more information to us throughout the game. On top of that, you're going to see throughout the game presented with newspapers and articles relating to plans for revitalization of Kettenstadt, which unfortunately fell through due to the instability of the COVID-19 pandemic. So there's a lot of symbolism, there's a lot of foreshadowing, and also past reflection throughout the environment of the game.
Absolutely. So the hallway that we're going down is showing the depreciation of the building as it amassed like a lot of graffiti all over the walls. And nearer to one of the CB artworks is some more graffiti, and that is becoming more detailed and more unique design, just landing on the one standout section that we just went past, which is drawn by Maya as of a girl amidst a bunch of cherry blossom trees. Now, we can start to see that like whenever we're getting near to like some sort of danger, that the mobile phone is starting to like glitch out, and it's like indicating that kind of danger really. We're going to be skipping a cutscene in a moment, and there's going to be some fun live filmed FMVs. This one's going to be showing Maya in the drawing stages of this artwork and telling Anita to be proud of ourselves and not to let anyone tell us who we are, as she's currently experiencing online harassment whilst trying to be as popular as Maya. Okay,
now,
what's with this place?
Cool. Right.
Now, one of the... Oh,
no,
sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the interesting things that you'll see all throughout, right now we're seeing all these post-it notes on the walls that have insult and abuse, which come from the character's mother, and they're very interesting to look at, but they kind of set the tone as well for this entire game.
So we just skipped a cutscene there, which is obviously of a depiction of self-harm and the kind of abuse that she's receiving from her mother. So obviously, because the cutscenes can be a little bit, triggering stuff like that, we are going to be skipping over a lot of them. But yeah, as we're going through right now, we've left that bathroom. We're going to be receiving a text from Amelie, who's going to be checking in on Anita, and which Anita is a bit more standoffish and a bit more dejecting to Amelie. And this exchange here is in relation to like the rise in the school kids' suicides, unfortunately. And we're going to be getting very close to our first chase sequences, which there are 5 chase sequences in the game, and you just basically got to try to not die in the game. What a concept, right?
It's easy, simple. You got this.
Not the 5th one. Thankfully, for the first few chases, they're very simple, like to get you into the flow of, like, you know, hey, there's danger afoot. This is the Cherry Blossom Lady, which on the official Silent Hill Twitter was aptly voted for and polled for as Sakura Heads.
Yup. And yeah, one of the big things here for this first chase, it's just going to be cutting corners smoothly and tight as the strat, where you don't really have anything too crazy, but you just hold right and forward immediately to turn into the first turn, and it'll pretty much lead us into the end of that first chase.
Easy peasy, right? Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
So we're going to be receiving a text from Maya in a second to come meet her at the studio. So there's going to be a specific studio, like the art studio that Maya was doing most of her work in and all the practicing and stuff. So we're going to try to go over there in a moment, but we're also going to investigate yet another like art piece from a CB, which then brings us into a proper FMV style cutscene in which Maya describes her infatuation of cherry blossoms and how she wants her life to basically be like a cherry blossom tree.
I have to find her.
Also, on the way to this studio, we're going to end up getting a conversation with Amelie asking Anita about going to college, where Anita claims that she's not going to go. Amelie tries to convince her to go, and Anita is immensely hard on themselves, trying to project that they're not good at anything or lack the talent, therefore, to succeed.
Imposter syndrome. What?
What? We don't have that in here.
No way. No way. Anyway.
Not even a little.
We laughed dejectedly, but you know what? It's a real thing. Anyway, so with that as well, like Anita's having drawings of her own is also mentioned at a point where at this point, which can cycle back to the fact that Anita is actually trying to emulate Maya. So there's again that kind of imposter syndrome of like the emulation, like why is my stuff good enough but theirs is, that sort of thing. So it is that kind of like massive imposter syndrome going on. We are going to be skipping a cutscene more or less very soon. And this FMV is an FMV style again. Maya references classmates talking about her, and she's thinking of skipping town essentially. So you can see a lot of the text that's going on right now, just like, I'm not okay. Like, why is nobody listening to me? That sort of stuff. Once again, it's very easy to get all up in there, and you know, like, that's the best way to say it. It's very easy to get all up in your mental, and it's hard to get out of it. So this is exactly what Anita is experiencing right now. We're going to be going over
and we're back in the loop.
Yep. So we're going to go to the art book over here to have a look, see at some of the art inside of the book that Maya has drawn. And Anita mentions that even in just a sketch form, that they look incredible.
They seem happy. A new life.
So there's going to be some fun things going on in a second. So you see the fact that I am like obviously trying to like mash my keys at some point just to try to get through things. It's actually going to be one skip that we do that will be the potential of a 2-minute unskippable dialogue if we don't get it. So I'll explain that a little bit further. So there is some mashing at some point that is needed to be done. Right, we're going to be coming up to our second chase scene. So Ford, take it away. In a second after I go over to this art piece here. Whoops.
No worries. So with the reveal of that, we get this nice little cutscene for just a moment. But yeah, the text we get from Maya is going to be asking for in the studio, which we are. There's no response. And then at this point, we wind up right into our next chase scene, where we're going to be viewing an incomplete piece of graffiti after we're going to end up viewing another piece of the cutscene. Whoops. But essentially, we end up looking down where we are, and the character's losing followers, also with some of artwork of her own that is more angrily drawn. We also see art originally, but mentions the only posts that gain followers are the ones of her face, like the sexy stuff. This shows cyberbullying done to Anita as well, and Anita gets a call from Amelie mentioning that Maya's dead, claiming she jumped off the roof of the complex. It also shows a scene of a memorial area in Maya, which we actually do see in the very intro of the game. But the boards, which would have shown Maya's face, were all blurred out. And it ends with Anita looking at a new text from Maya saying, find it.
Yep.
So that's pretty much where we're going to find ourselves, and I believe this will be the beginning of chapter 2.
Correct. So we can see that there's like a little hole there at the end of this room here as well, which is obviously going to be a massive reference to Silent Hill for the room. But from the first loop that we've been in, so this is now the second loop, that hole has gotten bigger as well. Just skipping back a tiny bit as well, when we were doing that second chase scene, you saw that I kind of did like a little bit of a loop around. We're trying to obviously manipulate the RNG a little bit of the Secura head to be able to, you know, kind of chase us. That gives us a bit more wiggle room to leave. That is going to be happening a lot in chase sequence 4, which we'll talk about a little bit more soon. Right, 4, let's talk about chapter 2.
Yes, well, Gen Z and millennials' worst nightmare, Anita's phone dies. Listen, just saying, nothing worse than being anywhere without a battery. But basically, yeah, so we start this with getting text from Maya telling us to find this, which is a nice little nod to Silent Hill for the room. And the drawn hole in the beginning that we started, like you said before, is increased in size. But we end up getting to this hallway, which you can look up near at a swinging light, and it's all your fault, which gives a flashback of her mother's vocal abuse silhouetted against a red background. On top of that, we're also going to get some of Maya's art that appears to be vandalized with tons of insults and egregious comments throughout.
I went the wrong way there for a second. Right, so we're going to be going into this new room as well, which is going to have like yet another vandalized CB art, and which we can see that like just all of the insults on the wall, which then is going to bring us up to the phone, in which we're going to be looking at Maya's social media, and we can start to see like, hey, there's some lovely comments, and then there's the negative comments. There's all the anonymity of social media, which, you know, people can like, hide behind it. Is it like real people who knows her? Is it people who are just completely somewhere on the internet? But
These guys.
in a representation of that as well, as we turn around, we can see that there's like loads of people in like what looks like school jackets and paper bags, which could indicate that it is her classmates who are cyberbullying her anonymously. Now, behind us was technically that kind of look down that we could see at the memorial side, but unfortunately, that is now just completely a bottomless pit. So there is no instance of a memorial site anymore.
And at this point as well, we start getting looping phone conversations with Amelie that's essentially looped, following a very similar pattern from our first loop that we experienced, but with some key differences, as Anita changes the discussion a bit by mentioning she didn't hear anything from Maya that would make her suspect that she would commit suicide, which does concern Amelie, as it seems very out of the blue for Anita to reinstigate the trauma that they experienced.
So we are going to be skipping a cutscene. I'll get to it. We're going to be skipping a cutscene in a second, and it's going to be Maya talking about a book that she read where the author had killed himself in it. Mentioning for the act to be enchanting. Maya mentions that she likes reading the letters that we use to communicate as well, and it's all just like we can start to see some sort of like hidden, not really hidden agendas, but some hidden feelings and emotions.
Letters.
And that skip cutscene that we just had as well, Maya ends up talking about a book she read where the author killed themselves.
We're going to skip on to the next one. Sorry, I just read that bit.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Sorry. Now we're going to go in towards this like this new apartment here. Which is going to be things like, you know, we're going to be reaching a college orientation flyer for a medical university. We're going to be having phone conversations with Amelie right now, which is where she wants to go with Anita, like allude.
All right, apologies for that. We had some minor technical difficulties, but we are now back. Nico, feel free to start whenever you are good.
Yep, sounds good. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So I don't know how much we missed in our little technical difficulties, but we're the basic summary of what just happened is that like within inside of that apartment, there's just like kind of like little notes and little nods towards like how the production of the buildings was going to try to get renovated. It didn't quite happen. COVID-19 happened. Going to college and that sort of stuff. So it's all just kind of like Amelie's expression, basically. But now we've gone in towards the school, and we're basically going to be reliving memories of where Maya was bullied. So lovely childhood memories and schoolhood memories, right? Yeah.
This part didn't scare me while we were practicing.
Yes, it did. So why are you lying?
Between this and the bag kids, I'm just saying.
Right, so this room is going to be showing their silhouettes of the school kids, like verbally abusing Anita, throwing items at her. As we get to our locker, all the position of the school kids are going to be changing into 2 rows in which she has to walk down and just receive the torrent of even more verbal abuse, which is... Even for this little bit, like when I first played it, I had like felt so emotionally like bad for Anita, because it is really just like a distressing moment. And a matter of fact, we're now in this twisted form of reality. Just that you can see the pressure, the intensity, the torment is really just like affecting her visually. Like the visual hallucinations is all coming in towards like one big fell swoop, if that makes sense. And this reminds me a little bit of like the Ocarina of Time, like, you know, the Forest Temple, the twisty room like transition.
Agreed.
But done in a more severe way, basically. So,
I was saying earlier, this actually reminds me a lot of the game Fear the Spotlight, which is kind of like an OG PS1 kind of demake of a game that references a lot of horror games in general.
Yeah.
So lots of references, at least in my mind there.
Right, so we are going to be going into Chase 3 right now. So this has got like a little bit of a new strat. Inside of the control scheme, you actually have the ability to look behind you. So we are actually going to be using that in order to be able to like manipulate the RNG of Sakura Head. So we're going to be trying to go to this bit here. We can see that we're at the door. And then we're going to let go about right now, as soon as we can see that little locker in the way. And we're going to go left through this way, turning around. It's all just normal path thing, turning left here. And right here, I know exactly where I'm going through this door. And then we're going right out, we're going back towards the stairwell, which will lead us... Actually, no, it's not to the stairwell, it's going to be back to the art apartment now, so yes. I always think this one's going to be leading to the stairway because all the chase sequences seem to do that, but I digress. Right, now that the chase sequence is over, we're going to be getting even more text from Maya. Also, this scream from Anita. It's one of my favorites.
You deserve this.
I just like that scream for some reason. I don't know why. So yeah, Maya is still continuing to text us, find it. Like, it's disturbing. We have to wait for Anita to be able to like slow down her breathing before we can actually look at this art book, because, you know, she's extremely rattled right now after all of that.
I have to say, I think the art book is probably my favorite aspect of the games. As somebody who loves visual arts in general, I really love the time and attention they have put into some of the more recent Silent Hill games about these sketches within the games.
Where are you going?
So as we're looking in the sketchbook again, we're seeing that there's a guy inside of this art book now that we hadn't quite seen before, and sketches of Amelie. We're now skipping a cutscene of Amelie and Anita meeting Maya, where Maya seems to be immediately more into Amelie than Anita. And Anita is starting to feel mentioned that she feels a bit more invisible. So we can get that imposter syndrome. I'm going to be skipping a cutscene here in the library. Ford, did you want to take this one?
Back at school.
Yeah, and I was going to say, this leads us into the library, where the cutscene that we're skipping right now is basically where we see bullying going on in the form of people writing in Maya's notebooks and clearly looking shaken by it. Maya mentions writing her thoughts of a book in a letter and to read it when we're at home. So, Nico, I believe you were also pretty positive these scenes might be coming from Amelie's POV.
I mean, I thought it was as well. Like, I mean, I'm not sure if it's absolutely confirmed, but like, again, it's like personal thoughts and feelings that we feel like it might be from Amelie's. So yes.
And also the little skip cutscene you just saw there was where we checked out a book in our locker, or rather a book Maya checked out. So now we're getting to, I think, one of my favorite aspects of the game is this hallway right here.
I've never seen Maya like that.
just loads of handprints, lots of disturbing footage here. So we skipped another cutscene in which Maya laments that this school is the same as their past school, in the same term as being bullied, looking downtrodden on here as well. And one of the books that we actually did miss reading beforehand mentions how Kenenstadt, the town that we're in, is cursed by a witch, in which a Japanese lady was hunted down and chased upon her death, placed a curse on the town, which, you know, just a standard, you know, witch hunt story, you know, classic really. In this text conversation, Amelie mentions knowing Maya was bullied and that Maya never showed it was that bad to her, basically. And Amelie regrets not talking to her and thinking Maya didn't see her as a friend. Right, I'm going to skip a bit more in our notes at the moment. We are going to be doing a bit of a puzzle here. We know the code already, but there is a method for being able to solve the whole puzzle, which will lead into what I hope I'll be able to do is a letter skip. So let me just get the code in, which is 0312. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to press the pads on the DualSense controller and the X button at the same time in the hope that I can cause a skip. So let's see if I can do this.
What's this letter? Was it inside the book?
Remember when I said...
Nah, fortunately not. So sometimes, sometimes if you do it perfectly, it's a frame perfect input, I'm not sure. We would get the ability to be able to turn the pages and then immediately go to be able to close this whole bit and then just go straight to the chase. It is RNG as hell. I don't know if it is frame perfect situation. We still don't know the technicalities behind the skip. I made what I think is a guide for it, but again, this was just through testing that I feel like I got it, but it's still one of those things of I haven't run the game in a while, so I don't know if they managed to solidify the actual skip, but I tried. It's fine. So for the meantime, do you want to explain what is happening in this this lettered conversation here?
Gave me hope.
Yeah. So basically, what we end up getting into is we ended up getting this letter that goes through, or rather, it's a letter from Maya to Amelie that's in her locker. And this letter's going through her emotions, including finding a guy that made her feel comfortable, but was apparently taken away from her. The note ends with her desire to run away with just her and Amelie. And at this point, Anita realizes she stopped Maya's cry for help from reaching Amelie. We'll eventually, after this note, get to a skipped cutscene that's going to show Anita being upset at Maya becoming close with Amelie and claiming Maya already has everything. Why did she have to take Amelie too? So there's that feeling of, dejectedness and also almost betrayal at this point in the game.
Try to tear them.
And this is a 2-minute unskippable section. I'm just we really want that skip, man. Because you can imagine if you're trying to do a PB world record run and you miss this at 20 minutes in or something like that, it's a skip. I mean, no, it's a reset run.
Then they make you sit through it.
Yep. Oh, it's fine.
During one of your alien isolation runs, this would be the point where we get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So true, so true. All right, we're going to be coming up to our 4th chase sequence momentarily. And this is where, obviously the chase sequences start to get a little bit more intensive. So I'm trying... Yes, okay, so I'm going to try to do this at the same time and I try to comment in on what we're doing. So the nice thing about this as well is that I'm doing this through the PS Remote Play, so a lot of the controller noises that you would hear is coming through the actual game itself, so thank you, PS Remote Play. So we're going to be going up to a little point here, and then we're going to be turning back immediately, and then we should be able to start... I didn't get it. Okay, 1 second. There we go. So now we can hear the little static, which will be coming through on our controller, but we're actually getting it through the game because thanks to PS Remote Play. We're going to be waiting around here to try to wait for the security head to come through a little bit and to the right. So there we go. Now we leave. That's just basically trying to coerce us so that we can leave without her catching up to us. I'm going to be doing the backup of the backup. So there is screw it. Let's do the YOLO strat. Why not? Why not? We've got a tiny bit of time extra. This is only maybe a 20-30 second time loss, but I want to show you just if I can get the YOLO strat or not. If I can, then yay. If not, then sorry.
And this chase is a doozy.
Oh, so close.
Oh no!
That's what I'm talking about. You can YOLO it, and if you get within 2 to 5 frames, then you can just leave through it. But if you don't get it, then you miss the YOLO. I wanted to try to show it off at least once, but for the memes, right?
For the memes, YOLO.
Look, it's not often that we use the term YOLO, but in speedrunning, why not? Okay, so let's do that again then. So this time I'll be showing you what the first routed form of this as well. So like we figured out like a stronger backup, but just because it has been a while since I've run this as well, we are going to do the backup basically. So once again, coming around here, waiting for the secure head to be able to come to the right side. And we go, good. Really hard to see through the metal chain fence there, so I can just about make it out. Trust me, that skip is very hard to pull up as well. Some of the top runners who were running it at the time, we were all just like, if we get it, send it, go for it, just so see if we can get that world record or whatever it is. It was so tough. I know that cave. We were back and forth for a while, just properly trying to get that YOLO strat, and just. It's tough, yo. It's tough. Right, so what we do for the backup is we lure secure head around this little circular section again, and then as we leave, we just go head all the way down. Now, if we did a backup way, we'd be able to head through the left, just like we tried to do for the YOLO, but we don't need to. We just head through this room here, stops us running, and then we head up towards the stairs, and that will enter into Chapter 3, the final chapter of this game. Short game, short message. Anyway.
And surprising no one, we're gonna end up back into another loop. But yeah, so we're gonna end up waking up to some pretty wild stuff here, including Anita seeing what is her own dead body lying next to her, stating that even if she dies, this loop will never end. That's pretty scary stuff right there.
And you can see that, that hole over there has gotten vastly bigger as well because of the the constant looping, and again, it's Silent Hill 4 references. Like that hole is just getting massively bigger, and then maybe something else can come through it. I don't know. We don't see it anyway. Right, sorry. Did you want to continue there?
No, you're good. But yeah, basically, Mai ends up texting back, find it, like a kid who's lost their cell phone in the store, with us trying to beg for forgiveness. And yeah, we end up going towards a long hallway, towards an apartment, constantly passing signs saying, no hope, no exit, no future. Mm-hmm. We even skip a newspaper on the bin bags, but it references the Silent Hill phenomenon, which some claim to be COVID brain fog. An interesting take, in my opinion, that essentially is pinning it down to that in some areas, those affected by the phenomenon suddenly claim to see fog even on fair weather days and lose consciousness shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was gonna say something kind of funny about that is recently, I think within the last week, we actually saw I believe it was Ryokishi mentioned for Silent Hill F that Konami's been pushing this idea of the Silent Hill phenomenon in all of the games happening right now in the newest wave of Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, huh? All right.
And this was the first to really kind of show the idea. I mentioned earlier this game went under the radar. Honestly, the big reason is probably the most practical. It's a PS5 exclusive.
Yep. PC soon, please.
Also, I'm going to do a little bit of a shortcut on some of our notes here, but essentially, we end up in Anita and her mother's apartment, where things start out seeming very normal and very soon progress into different loops that become progressively darker, with things becoming strewn about and all over the place. We end up finding a lot about the man who has entered into the lives of the kids and of the mom, and their struggles with, CPS or Child Protective Services, and more from there. But this is going to end us taking us into our next chase. I just wanted to give you a little background before we went into that chase.
Right, so for this chase sequence, we can see that there's a door there that is being chained up. Silent Hill photo room. Anyway, we got to try to find 5 photos, which unlocks each of the chains. This initially, for most game players, is a very puzzling and complex chase sequence, because again, the threats and you don't know where you're going, you're losing your footing. This has a very sort of specific routing that we do take, because it keeps the security lady at bay. And we were routing this out, we were plotting this all out, and we've got diagrams of it all. It's pretty well routed, honestly, I believe. So this should be fairly simple. But I remember when I was doing my practice run, literally on Monday, I think it was, that I managed to pick it up after the first try. once you know it, then you know it. Like it becomes like muscle memory after that. So, that's the fourth photo that we picked. Now, there's a chance, even with the plotting of the routing, that Sakura heads may poke around the corner here. So let's have a look. See. No, scot-free. Good. All right, so once I go and get the fifth photo, Sakura Head is going to completely leave. Like there's no more chase anymore. So I get the image. Oh, I actually got it through the lockers there. Nice. That's a little bit of a time save, right? And then we go towards the art studio, which thankfully, because we chose this routing, it's literally just a straight shot towards the apartment. So this is why exactly we chose the routing. So we go one more way around to the left, and then it'll be on the right. Lovely. And you can see that it is, because you can see the brightness where, similar to like what we were seeing on our phone earlier on, all the chains are off and through we go. Easy peasy.
And back into the art room for the last time, where we end up finding out quite a bit of key information, including a newspaper with info on Maya's death, which is going to end up stating the exact date that it happened and how Anita's been there in the villa for over half a year. We also end up finding out that, the art book ends up falling over, and we end up looking through this art book one more time, where we see that Maya's actually drawn Anita a long time ago. And we'll get into this part in just a second.
Yep. So, like, there's that kind of situation of, like, you know, Anita didn't know. She was always in that sort of imposter syndrome, always in her mind, like she wasn't really like paying attention. But if she just looked a little bit deeper, then she would have noticed that she was seeing all this time. But again, imposter syndrome's a hell of a thing, which is, you know, I could go on and on and on about it. But the final section of this game now, like this is literally coming up close to time, so I'll be calling it very soon. We've got like a couple of stops on this last passageway towards the next stairs upwards towards the roof of the building. The first stop is going to show, press X there, Anita remembering her mother liking her first picture that she ever drew. The second stop is going to be the desk in which she was bullied at, saying that she could have had a different life. The first stop is going to be Maya's sketchbook, in which Anita laments on Maya like finally noticing her. And the fourth and final stop is going to be Amelie's study area, in which Anita is asking her, what should we do? What should I do? And then time will be coming up as soon as we lose control, so I'll be calling time momentarily. And then we'll explain the very final part of the game as well. So time will be... time. All right, so in this little section here, we can see a lot more of like the memorial on the top of the building and like all the flowers. Anita admits to Amelie to holding back on the initial letter, saying that she never realized that both Amelie and Maya really did care for her. She gets ready to try to jump off the building once again, like said that same kind of loop, thanking Amelie and preparing to apologize to Maya. Amelie texts Anita before jumping, stopping her from jumping off the villa. And then when falling back, like, you know, trying to like fall back onto the rooftop, the fog disappears, and then the hate notes just scatter away as well. And then after the credits, Amelie makes a post about going to college with Anita joining along as well. And that is pretty much the game. That is pretty much as much of the explanation that I can give. Like, from a lot of the theories that we've pulled together as a community, from what we've been able to glean as, like, you know, the storyline, the lore. I mean, maybe some bits I touched on are correct, maybe there's some are not. Obviously, this is like, you know, our interpretation of the story. And with the best thing with Silent Hill games as well is that it's always open up to interpretation as well. And the final section here is that we get to see the completed artwork with Anita and Amelie against the cherry blossom trees. Once again, she's been seen. I know, tearjerker right at the end, right?
I guess you could say we finally saw the whole picture. I'm sorry, I'll
get out.
All right. Well, thank you both for that run. Really quick, Nico, if anyone wanted to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me on twitch.NicoHart. You can find me on YouTube at NicoHart. Most of my social medias are hello NicoHart, and Blue Sky is NicoHart.com. By the way, Niko, not CEO. You know, that sort of thing. I've had that before recently. Anyway, where can they find you?
Hey there, everybody. You can find me on most social media platforms at Thormangander or at the Thormangander on YouTube and Instagram. Or on Blue Sky at Thormangander.com.
Alrighty, well, thank you both for that run of the short message. It is always nice to see a game that does fly under the radar due to its console exclusivity. It was a neat little, it was a nice short message, and thank you again for both of you for doing the run.
Thank you so much.
All right. Once again, if you did enjoy Nico Hart, he runs quite a lot of games with quite a lot of controllers. So feel free to check him out sometime over on his Twitch, as you can see in the chat. We do have some more games coming up. Before we get to those, just for a couple of announcements, we have Black in a Flash, a community that uplifts and connects Black speedrunners of all levels, hosting special events throughout the year to raise money for charity and celebrate Black voices in the speedrunning scene. You can learn more at gdq.gg/BAF or use !BAF in Twitch chat to learn more. As well, if you're ever curious what's coming up on Hotfix or interested running on GDQ, you check out this week's schedule and submit your runs to be showcased at gdq.gg/hotfix. Anyway, that will be it. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hopefully you enjoyed that run of Silent Hill, the short message. It is always neat to see how a franchise evolves, but it is also nice to kind of see, the hits of the franchise as well. I kind of wanted to throw in the short message because it does fit another game we have coming up, and this one is going to be very familiar, but a little bit different. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we all know and love Silent Hill 2. This is the classic one, after all, but this is a category that has never been seen. So to give a really brief explanation, which we'll learn more about later as well, Silent Hill games, at least the original, I think the original 3, I think 4 also had it too. There was this thing called 10 star. 10 star more or less is the 100% of the game. It means you did everything right. You got the maximum score. Because these games do have scores, believe it or not, and they are quite subtle. Getting these normally is a grand achievement. It is very difficult, but we're actually going to be seeing a speedrun of that right now, and we'll learn just how wild that really gets. Anyway, here is Silent Hill 2 original 10 star with Naidal. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for the intro, Ek. As Ek was saying, this is Silent Hill 2, but in a way that I think most people haven't really seen before. This category is kind of underrun, mainly because there's just kind of a lot of stuff that we're going to have to do. So just to preface this is the enhanced edition. So we get to play in 60 FPS in widescreen, and we are playing on set seed, which means that the RNG will be set. So we don't have to worry about that. We're going to be focusing purely on movement, interactions, boss fights, and kind of just doing everything fast. Time will start after I skip this first cutscene, and we have a long run to kind of start explaining what exactly 10 star is going to be all about. So we're playing in hard action, hard riddle, and time will start now. So first things first, what is 10 star? 10 star involves picking up at least 150 items, killing 150 enemies. You have to beat the game in under 3 hours, I believe. You can't take more than 500 points of damage. And all the while, you have to make sure that your boat stage is under, I think, like 1 minute and 20 seconds, which on PC is not really that big of a deal. So the very first thing you saw me do was I picked up one of the New Game Plus items. We are going to be picking up all of the New Game Plus items in this run because the New Game Plus items actually count differently towards our item counter. So they actually count essentially as inflated items. Which is kind of interesting. So we're going to be picking up all of those. You also saw me do a little thing, which we're going to be doing quite a few times, called text storage, which you saw the text on screen, and effectively by keeping text on screen we can prevent triggers and enemies from loading. And right now you see game saved on screen, and you're going to be seeing that a lot. And the truth is I'm just like super scared, and we got a quick save all over the place. No, James has a stamina system, and essentially quick saving, for some oddity, I believe it's kind of like an artifact left in when they ported the game to PC. For some odd reason, quick saving refreshes James' stamina, which is important for 2 reasons. First, James will slow down if we run for long enough without refreshing his stamina, which obviously that's bad. And that'll happen whenever we're outdoors. And perhaps more importantly, in hard difficulty, James will bonk into walls. You might see a few of them. We just picked up the chainsaw there. That's our second New Game Plus item. So you might see a few bonks in the run. Ideally, you don't. Ideally, I don't bonk into anything. But essentially, in areas where we can't quick save, there is a very high risk of me bonking because James just like is a real klutz in hard difficulty. You may have noticed in the upper right-hand corner, we have a stats panel, and that's to help you and also to help me keep track of all the stuff that we are going to be picking up. So obviously you can see by items, it says 0 plus 2. That means that we've picked up 2 of the New Game Plus items. Those are counted kind of separately on the tracker. You're going to see your second instance of text storage here, and this is a long one. So there's no reason to go back. I'm going to look for Mary. This text is going to be on the screen for a good couple minutes. Effectively, what we're doing here is we are preventing the trigger from requiring us to get the plank and the radio. And by keeping this text on screen, we are preventing all of the triggers, enemies, any sort of like spawn point from working. And we're going to have to do that again later when we pass by this exact same area, just because that trigger is going to remain active all the way into the otherworld streets, like way later in the game. So we just have to avoid that trigger. Otherwise, the game will be like, hey, dude, it's time to go get the plank and the radio. And that's super slow. We don't want to do that. You probably also notice my saves. So if you look into it, there is a requirement for 10 star that you don't have more than 2 saves. And you can tell from how the counter is going up so far that it rolls back over and then counts in the negatives. You can tell that we're probably exceeding 2 saves. Like we're at like 128 right now, negative 128 now. And we are good to let go of the text now. We have passed that trigger point. Fortunately, quick saves don't count for our save counter. Again, I think it was an oversight when they were making the PC version of the game. Kind of just, there's a few interesting quirks that are exclusive to quick saving. Pretty much all the glitches involve quick saving in this game, and specifically the PC version. You may also notice that there's a differentiation between shooting kills and fighting kills. And the reason for that is kind of bizarre, but it's going to play a large role in the kills that we get in this run. So what you just saw me pick up there is the green hyper spray. And this is the reward that you get for beating the game with 10 stars. And believe it or not, it is incredibly OP. As you can see, it is green. There are different colors of the hyper spray. We can reload on the go, and the reload is James shaking the can, of course. And it will one-hit pretty much every enemy. There are a couple exceptions with the bosses and just kind of like their hitboxes and stuff, but for the most part, it'll one-shot everything. The drawback is every time we use it, we actually take damage. So you can see I already have 1.12 points of damage done to me from that little spritz that we did just there. So I'm going to try and keep the spraying down to a minimum. Like, you really don't want to spam it because it will actually add up on your damage. And given we are going to inevitably be taking some damage in a few sections, we don't want our damage counter to get too high because that would invalidate getting 10 stars altogether. So we're coming here. We're going to get the key to the apartments. We're heading towards the apartments. Forgive me if I'm not explaining much about the plot of this game. If you don't know if you haven't experienced firsthand the plot of Silent Hill 2, I strongly recommend playing either the original, the enhanced edition, or the remake. They're all fantastic, and I am a huge fanboy, so a little biased. You can see we picked up our first item also. So item count right now is 1 plus 3. So we have 3 New Game Plus items, and we have 1 item. For the most part, the item count is going to remain pretty low through apartments. And then once we get to areas like hospital and the otherworld streets, that amount's going to go up very quickly. There are some rooms where we pick up like 10 items in one go. And as you may know, James like bends down to pick up items when they're on the ground. We don't really want to do that where we can. Like, see this pickup right there, we could just grab it and we're good to go. So we're going to be focusing on items that we can pick up without having to do the long bending down, picking up animation. I am going to pick up a few extras, just given this is kind of a marathon setting, and I don't want to get to the end of the run and realize I'm like a couple items short. There is a backup strat. There's a glitch that you can effectively do to infinitely pick up an item if you really needed to in the hotel, if you realize that your item count was a little short. However, I'd rather it not come to that, obviously. So we're coming up here. We got the flashlight. The flashlight is going to be very important in hard. You're going to notice anytime there's enemies around, I'm going to keep the flashlight off. Kind of interesting. They did not bring this mechanic over to Silent Hill 2 Remake, but enemies behave very differently depending on whether the flashlight is on or off. It's not a guarantee that they won't hit you when the flashlight is off, but it makes it way longer for them to notice you. So we just skipped a little cutscene there where Laura kicked the key out of the way, and we were going to do a little glitch here. It's very minor, but there's a screen there, and usually that text would stop James completely. However, since we quick saved through it, we are now in kind of a broken state. So I'm going to do a little crouch at Pyramid Head there, and that'll unbreak the state and let us go through the door. So again, that's a very minor skip, but Silent Hill 2 is an extremely optimized game at this point. And, you know, especially not so much in 10 stars, which is, you know, a longer category and kind of underrun comparatively, but in new game, any difficulty, and in dog ending, minor time saves like that really, nice spin move, James, really make a big difference. You may also notice occasionally I'll do a spin move. The movement type that we're using in this game is not tank controls. A lot of people have the misconception that Silent Hill 2 is exclusively tank controls. That's not correct. There are two control settings, and for the speed run, it is significantly faster that we use this, I believe they call it 2D movement, when really it is more like a 3D movement. So we have the key here, and you can already see our inventory is like kind of getting full. It's going to be a little bit comedic later on when we just have like every single item in the game that we possibly could have picked up till this point. So there's going to be a lot of scrolling when we're using the inventory, picking up some bullets here and there, which just help add to the item count. I think by the time, I should remember this, but I think by the time we come out of the apartments, we should be at around 20 items or so. And then that amount is really going to build up in the hospital, especially. So we're coming here, we're grabbing the fire escape key, which Laura kicked out of the way. And then there's going to be another enemy at the end of this hallway. So a big part of this run is sort of like preemptively turning off your flashlight, because if the enemies see your flashlight even from a distance, then they'll kind of aggro immediately onto James and attack you. And it's not even so much the damage most of the time, it's just that getting attacked is slow. It staggers James. You can get kind of stun locked in a few situations, which shouldn't happen because we have the green hyper spray, but in hard, like a new game category where you would be using sort of, you know, the basic weapons, it would be a huge problem. So we just got the juice box, which, as you know, you put the juice box in the juice chute, and then you get the coin out of it. Silent Hill things. So we're gonna come through here. This first sort of section through the apartments, they're like, this is pretty similar to what you would actually see on a hard run. That is hard action, hard riddle, without going for 10 star. But the changes really start to add up when we get into the murder, because we have to get 75 shooting kills and 75 fighting kills. Which, to explain that a little bit further, for our purposes, shooting kills are going to be nurses, and fighting kills are going to be bugs or cockroaches. There is a section of this game where you'll notice we're not going to get a whole lot of fighting kills throughout the majority of the run. And then there's one section where we get all of our fighting kills all at once. And that's really the big RNG, you know, kind of killer in this run. A lot of times I'm like, the pace doesn't even really matter until we get to the bug room. Because if the bug room goes perfectly, then it automatically we're on PV pace, right? So we're going to come through here. We just grabbed another coin. We're going to go say hi to Eddie, our homeboy. He's having a good time. See, he's doing great. Hey, Eddie. All right. So Eddie's doing all right. again, I'm not going to go into much of the plot of this game. I'm just going to assume most people know it. But essentially, James is running into these the cast of Silent Hill 2 and sort of asking them questions, and everybody's kind of like it's spaced out. They're all kind of like in their own little world, and you know they see everything differently. So everybody kind of has this uncanny valley. This game is really a masterpiece. I strongly recommend it. So coming up here, big item pickup. We are going to do this safe, which fortunately, because of set seed, it is always the same combination. It is 19, 20, 5, and 10. And I have to be careful not to mess this up because you have to do the whole thing over again. And it sucks if you do. So we got that. Of course, on the seed that we're on, which for set seed, it is what is called the golden seed, which realistically, right, so if you wanted to get this seed naturally, you would have to wait for frame like 14,900 on the main menu before pressing start game. So you would have to sit on the main menu for something like 15 minutes and 26 seconds, and then frame perfect press A to start the game, and then you would be on this seed. And that's kind of the nice thing about speedrunning Enhanced Edition is that we do have the speedrun mode, which allows us to use set seed and not have to deal with RNG, which in a worst case scenario is going to lose you like 15 seconds on a bad run. Which is just like that's a run killer completely in a run like this. As you saw, we just did the coin puzzle. That puzzle is depending on your difficulty. That is not a random puzzle. So as long as we're on the same difficulty, we know the solution to that. Ooh, whispers. It's good RNG, or it's cursed. I don't know. This room, there's like a 50-50 chance, or it might be less. There's a % chance that there's a whisper audio sound effect that plays. And I know a lot of people got freaked out on like their second playthrough because they they didn't know it was going to happen. So stinky pyramid head, and we are out of here. Oh, let's just not take damage there. Okay, cool. So as you can see, the green hyper spray is going to trivialize most of the boss fights. Flesh Lips is sometimes a problem just because his hitbox is crazy. But for the sake of Pyramid Head, we just kind of hit him with the like pesto flavored axe, or like, I don't know. I'm always coming up with new cursed flavors of axe whenever we run 10 star. So, you know, have fun with it, chat. Make your own axe flavor. And that's what James is using tonight. Maybe it's key lime. Maybe it's stinky feet. Who knows? So we're done with apartments. Great. We defeated Pyramid Head. Hooray. GG. So heading on through to meet Maria. This is where things start to deviate from what you would normally do in pretty much any other run, right? Because you saw us pick up the UFO medallion at the very beginning of the game, and you know, usually you would only pick up one item, depending on. By the way, this is that park. James, where are you going? This is that park, dude. Oh my god. So usually you'd only pick up the New Game Plus item relevant to the ending that you're trying to get, but we're picking up all of them. So we're gonna go get the dog key, and then Mary, and then we're gonna go get the green book. I always forget what it's called. It's like the Book of Penitence or something like that. We're gonna go get the green book, and effectively, like, we're gonna be in a position where if we wanted to, we could end the run with any ending we wanted, because we have all the items. We could do Rebirth, we could do UFO, we could do dog ending. We are going to be doing dog ending just because dog ending is technically the fastest. So for 10 star, it doesn't matter what ending you get, as long as you get to the stat screen. So here we're picking up the dog key. Like, realistically, if we had a faster way of getting to the stat screen, then we wouldn't even need to go to the hotel at all, right? We could just end the run there and call it a day.
I do have two add-ons for that.
Yeah, go for it.
One, the book is actually the Book of Memories, believe it or not.
Oh, is it Book of Memories?
Yeah, it's the Book of Lost Memories that you actually end up seeing in the Silent Hill spin-off of the Book of Memories, which is normally considered to be one of the really bad ones.
yeah, it's not a great experience.
There is one caveat to the ending, though. which is, I think, in order to get 10-star, one of the requirements, if I remember right, you can't do UFO ending. It has to be dog ending or later. Well, because from what I remember right, there's an item once the hotel goes to the
the crimson book.
Yeah, tome at the like you have to like play the videotape, and then you would have to go downstairs, grab the book, and then you do the dog ending or any of the other endings. But if you do UFO ending, you never get the swap, so you'd be missing out on that.
Exactly. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, you have to watch the videotape in order for the crimson book to spawn.
Which, so I'm saying the swap as well, because lore-wise, I guess cheeky thing, they swap the other world and the overworld of that part of the game.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
Fun.
I don't think you could activate it. I don't think you could activate UFO after watching the tape.
No,
although I'm not
it only
sure.
works on the videotape left.
Oh, good. Yeah, interesting. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Anyway, heading through Heaven's Night now. We're on our way to one of the more spicy sections of the run, Hospital. This is where we really start to get into the murder because there is a high population of nurses here, and best of all, some of these nurses respawn, so we can actually kind of farm these nurse kills for our shooting kills here, which is pretty sweet. So I'm going to be trying to do that. There is a bit of RNG, like, you know, worst case scenario, I do have some backup kills I could go for. They are very slow, so I'd rather not. But if we get lucky enough on our nurse respawns here, then we won't really have to worry about that, and we'll be all good. So you're going to notice something. I should explain it now. Whenever I kill these enemies, I'm going to keep my flashlight off, and you're going to notice I don't aim directly at them. I don't want James to lock on to the enemy. Also, we just kind of blasted Maria there a little bit. You can kill her with the hyper spray. It takes like 5 minutes of spraying her nonstop. Don't ask me how I know. So we got 2 more respawns here, which is great. The reason for this little wiggle and like turnaround move that I'm doing is because if we are targeting the enemies, sometimes they don't count as kills. I don't know why. Sometimes we just get robbed of kills, and I guarantee it'll happen at least once or twice during this run. But you may notice sometimes I go for a kill and it just does not add to the kill counter. Sometimes it will add to the kill counter after the fact, like after I leave the room or after I kill another enemy. But sometimes we get a kill and we just get robbed, and there's no real recourse for it. We just lose out on that kill, which can be pretty awful in a PB scenario, you know? So we're getting pretty good on the respawns here. We want, for the most part, like double the value on every hallway that we run into, right? Because some of these hallways we're forced to run into twice, and every time we run into them, if we can get another respawn out of it, then that is sort of free value, right? And I'm going to reload my hyperspray here. And coming up to this door, the code is 1328, and that is dependent on your difficulty, so that's always the same, not determined by seed. We're going to drop Maria off. She's just a little sleepy. She's doing okay. Maybe a little too much inhaling the Axe green scent, whatever it is. Wintergreen. So she's just going to take a little nap. She got a headache. And getting more kills here. We want to try and come out of hospital with a total of 32 or 33 kills. That's sort of the optimal point. Right now, we're on a pretty good pace for that. We just need to get lucky on some of these respawns. And here is almost always a forced bonk, unless I avoid it. I'm just that good. Pyramid Head threw us off of the roof back into the 3rd floor. So we are back on the 3rd floor now. All these enemies are dead. Sometimes you get a cheeky little respawn here, but unfortunately not very lucky. The reason I'm not killing that mannequin right now is because that's a fighting kill, and I don't really need fighting kills right now. We're mostly just aiming for shooting kills here in the hospital. If there's any enemies that are like in my way and I have to kill them, that's a different thing. But if the enemy's just kind of minding its own business, then we're all good. So those codes there are essentially the biggest difference in set seed. Normally, in a casual playthrough, you would have to go and look at the blue paper, and then look at little cheeky respawn. Look at the blue paper, and then we would have to look in the cell for the code written in blood. But we don't have to do that. And you saw I just did a quick save, quick load in that elevator, which skips having to sit through the elevator sort of animation. And that's actually a recent change. That wasn't a thing until, I want to say, like 2 years ago, that was kind of allowed in the run. So we met back up with Laura. She calls us a fart face, and now we gotta hose down these stinky feet. We got really lucky on that. Sometimes the Flesh Lips does not accept that I'm spraying. Like, that was perfect. That was the best I've ever seen. Sometimes Flesh Lips just does not take damage from the hyper spray, and you have to stand there for an ungodly amount of time spraying him down. But actually, that was perfect. I don't know why that went so well, but I'll take it. So coming in here, we're gonna hope for another respawn, and we got none of them. We're gonna grab some items out of this room. This kill almost never counts right here. Sometimes it does, but almost never, because we're forced to aim at her as soon as we walk into the room. And then we're going to come back up the elevator to the second floor, do another quick save, quick load to skip this elevator animation. And now we go for some nice kills here. We have to kind of travel down the hallway, which isn't super optimal, but ideally those enemies respawn and they meet us closer to the elevator later in the run. So we'll see if we get lucky on the next pass through of this floor. Yep, cool. So we get one there. Yeah, this is great on the RNG. See, and she's now closer to the elevator, so that's a free kill. Heading up to the third floor, and because we're in a glitch state, we actually just skip that elevator animation completely. We don't have to do the quick save, quick load. And the reason for that glitch state is because we've been quick saving, quick loading on the elevators. I wouldn't recommend like learning the run immediately doing that skip, because it's very easy to soft lock. We've seen weird issues where like you open the elevator door and James is immediately on the second floor, like skipping the elevator completely. You don't want that. It's bad. It's bad news. So we're gonna come through here, get our last few kills, and we are pretty much good. We don't really need any more kills from this point. So now the goal is just gonna be to get out of hospital efficiently, and pray. Like, the respawns are great when you need them, but now I'm kind of like, I hope there's no respawns, because otherwise we're probably taking damage.
James.
So we meet back up with Maria down in the basement.
Oh, Maria.
You know, we offend her a little bit. We're like, anyway,
Sure.
And then she gets a little upset.
Anyway, I'm glad
Hang on,
you're
I'm just gonna
alive.
take a sip here.
Anyway, what do you mean anyway?
Okay, sorry. Anyway, so we're gonna come here. We're gonna grab one of the rings. We need another ring to put on a door, as you do to open the door. So a lot of hospital, if you've never played this game, is like opening one area so that you can get a key to then open another area so that you can get a key to then open the next area so that you can get a code to then get a key and go to the next area. We're going to skip a little cutscene here. This is the trick or treat trivia cutscene, where a very goofy announcer on the radio, in the elevator over the PA system, I guess, he gives us some Silent Hill trivia. And in most other categories, you just skip it and you don't worry about it. You don't think about it. In 10 star, we actually need to go do that puzzle because there's like 10 items in that in that room. So it's really important that we go get that pickup. If I ever reach the end of a run and realize I have not done this puzzle, it is very obvious because we're missing 10 whole items. So we're gonna come here. We already know the solution. We didn't need to listen to the goofy vocals. It's 313, and here's 7 items in here, and then there's 3 items on the shelf for a total of 10, putting us at a nice 68 coming out of hospital, which is like really, really good. I am gonna grab a few more. Yeah.
I was gonna add a little detail here, because normally for 10 star, right? The speedrun, as you see here, uses green hyper spray. It's killing a lot. Before you unlock the green hyper spray, though, you have to do 10 star without
vanilla. Yeah,
vanilla. And if you do not grab that vanilla, yeah, your run just dies straight up.
yeah, it's impossible. So here, this is a very interesting text storage that we're doing. Normally, you cannot quick save in this section. Okay, nice bonk, dude. Normally, you can't quick save in this section. Okay, again. However, we hold the text coming through the door. It's a little complicated set of inputs, and it's kind of timing based. And as a result, it scrambles all the text in this cutscene. So the game is kind of like reading through the text in memory right now because we moved text in place of where other text was supposed to be. You can do this virtually anywhere in the game. Most of the time it causes a soft lock, so I wouldn't recommend it, but RIP parking lot. But that's a fun little quirk. That also, we by holding that text, we despawned Pyramid Head, by the way. That's the important part. Forgot to mention that. The whole reason we hold the text is so that we despawn Pyramid Head, because otherwise Pyramid Head is going to beat the heck out of Maria. And we would have to turn around, hit him with the hyper spray, turn around again, hit him with the hyper spray, and we don't want to have to do that. So huge time save there, not having to deal with Pyramid Head in that little corridor. Back outside for the otherworld streets, there's just a lot of murder that we're gonna do. There's fortunately a ton of nurses in this section, and this is really where we finish our shooting kills. So from the point where we reach prison, which is the section that we're heading to, there really aren't any shooting kills except for 4 that are in hotel, and that's because the abstract daddies, for some reason, count as shooting kills. I'm not sure why. I would think that they would count as fighting kills, but it's pretty lucky that they count as shooting kills because very fortunately, we usually end up at like 71 shooting kills total, and then we get our last 4 when we're in hospital. Worst case scenario. I'd really rather go in with like 73, especially in a case like this where if we get robbed of one of those shooting kills in hospital or in hotel, if for some reason it doesn't count, then we could actually be in genuine trouble. But no crisis. We'll be fine. So we get to see a lot more of the otherworld streets than we normally do in other categories here, just because we're running around picking up some extra items and getting kills where necessary. And a lot of these items, very fortunately, are like kind of on the way to where we need to go. So I've heard a lot of people say I've heard like at least 3 people say like 10 star is cool, but isn't it like a lot to memorize and a lot to learn, like 150 items and 150 enemies, dude? Like what happens if you miss one? And when we do PB attempts, we are exactly on the enemy count and the item count most of the time. But the truth is pretty much everything is on the way. The game gives you a lot of items just in the natural route, in the natural speedrun route. So fortunately, we don't really have to put too much thought into like going out of the way to pick things up, besides like, the trick or treat puzzle and a few items here or there that we have to, pay attention to. But for the most part, it's actually very chill. So normally we would do text storage here right as soon as we get out of that door, and that would prevent all these enemies from loading in. And it would also be necessary because remember that area where we skipped the plank radio way earlier in the run, in the first 5 minutes, we're going to pass by that area again. And it's important that I text storage through that. Otherwise we hard lock. Like there is no recovery if I mess that up. So right about here, we need to store text so that we can run past here because the trigger is like right about here. And once we are past it, we're good to drop the text. We can pick up this wrench, and then we hold text once again just to go through here. And again, we don't want to hold text for too long in 10 star because we want these enemies to spawn in. We want to be able to get these kills. So in most other categories, you would just hold the text through the whole thing. You'd be like, I'm not worrying about these enemies. They're just going to, slow me down if anything. But in 10 star, we want enemies to respawn as soon as possible. So it's kind of important that we hold the text for as little as we can, just so that we can get some extra kills in, which right now our kill count is looking pretty good. Being at 50 before we get to this door is right about where I want to be. There's a possibility we'll need to turn around for one extra little cheeky kill, but I think we should be good. This is also a very nerve-wracking thing when you're on like a PB pace. because you don't always know. You don't always know if the game is going to be kind and give you the enemies you need. Enemy positioning is like sort of random. It's based on kind of a global cycle. So enemies aren't always in the same spot when you get there every time. So occasionally you're going for a nurse kill and you realize that she's already like made it half a mile up the road. And sometimes you have to just route it out. You're like, well, she's kind of too far. Like I can't justify going 30 seconds in that direction and then back just to get that one kill because she happened to be in a different spot this time. So this category does have some tricky bits to it in terms of, you know, you just gotta pray. You gotta hope the game's on your side. But as you can see, we're only at 7 fighting kills. Most of those have just been incidental, killing mannequins here or there. The majority, the bulk of our fighting kills are going to come shortly after we get into prison, when we do the good old bug room, which is easily the biggest make or break of the entire run in this category. Just going to grab these extra shotgun shells. Item count is looking perfect. I grabbed like 2 extra items, I think, just to make sure that we would have the insurance in case I forgot something somewhere. Which, it does happen. We're going to grab this wrench, which we learned about, we're going to use the wrench, which we learned about this key from the letter, which we saw at the end of Hospital. So there is a map that gets marked. However, we never picked it up. We skipped the map pickup from the very beginning of the game, and we don't really get any maps except for that one in the other world, in the hospital at the very end. So we're kind of mapless, which is funny because I can bring up that it's too dark to read the map text. Even if I had the flashlight on, James would be like, "I don't have a map, dude." So it's kind of funny that that text even comes up at all. Coming through here, there's a few extra kills that if I was really desperate, I could go in and grab. They're a little bit further away by the mechanics shop, but I think we should be good with this amount. And our last little health drink pickup, there's another med kit. The nice thing about this category is that even though you're playing on hard, and this game is pretty brutal on hard casually. If you don't know the speedrun strats or any of the tricks, or you know, boss strats or anything like that, this game is actually pretty hard on hard. But we're picking up every healing item under the sun. So if we're ever in danger in terms of our health, it's really not a problem because we have like 16 med kits by the end of this, and you know, 40 healing drinks, which we don't really need all that many of. So we're gonna come up to here. There's 2 more kills here. There's 1, and then there's 2, which means that we're gonna need to kill 3 abstract daddies. Oh, see, she went pretty far away there, wandering up the road. We're gonna need to kill 3 abstract daddies later on, which is totally fine. We can definitely do that in the hotel. That's not an issue. Right there, I grabbed the obsidian chalice or gauntlet. It's a cup is what it is, and that's one of the easiest New Game Plus items to miss because it's so quick. It's so minor. It's just in that case right before you go down the staircase. That, and there's the white chrism, which we picked up in the apartments, which kind of ties into Born from a Wish and Maria's story. But we picked that up way early on, and that's another one that if there's any New Game Plus item that I'm going to miss, it's going to be one of those. So now we have a long staircase, and the space cow is what I would like to call him. Just going. Coming through here, we're going to grab another med kit. And then we are heading into the prison proper. We're going to turn off the flashlight because the bug on tricycle is kind of a problem here. And this is always set. There's a little paper with a red corner on it. That's how you know. That's how I know where I have to hit. Also, the position's always the same spot. So to break out of the well, you just got to know where to hit. And this is the big make or break for 10-star right here. So this is bug room. In other categories, we would skip this. In this, we do not want to skip this. If you don't like the sound of the bugs on tricycles, maybe lower the stream for a little bit. But so the goal here is we need to stomp these bugs in big batches. That was a pretty bad scatter, but honestly, we kind of recovered it. And it's important that James does this stomp animation and not the kick. As you can see, we already racked up like 13 kills from that one little cluster. So if we can get lucky here again, and also not die, preferably. Yeah. There we go. That was a pretty good one. 27. So we're just keeping an eye on the fighting kills for this, because all of these bug squashes count as fighting kills. And as you can see, you can get kind of like stun locked. With that move where James kicks out his foot is so annoying, because he'll just get stuck in that pattern. Ooh, that was a nice one. 39. Cool. The goal here is at least like 72. We can leave if we have 72. And so we're going to spray the wall. Bugs come out. That was a bad scatter. Hang on. I have a cat jumping on the table. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Let me just finish with this bug room, and then I'll deal with you. Stomp the bugs. 52. See, it's kind of unfortunate when we have these little stragglers here, just because they impact our total spawns when we spray the wall. We're at 61. This is by no means a good bug room, but I'll take it. 68. We're almost there. Let's see if we can get one more good stomp, and then we're chilling. 72. That's fine. That's cool. And then coming out of here, the code is going to be 168. Because we're playing on set seed, that is always going to be the case. And we use this key, and we're out of there. Cool. So we're at 72 shooting kills and 72 fighting kills, which is a great amount to be. And we're saying hi to Eddie again. Eddie, what up? Perhaps one of the best FMVs in the game. Sorry, I have cat situations at home. Okay. We're gonna grab some healing items. We're gonna grab a placard, and there's not a lot of pickups that we actually have in the prison. Most everything we have, most everything we need, we already have. I'm gonna reload the hyper spray here. Gonna grab the other one. Come through here. And since there's a few mannequins in here, we are going to use that as our opportunity to rack up those last few fighting kills that we need. We're going to grab some bullets there. We're going to go for 2 kills here because there's 2 guys here. And now we're good on fighting kills. We are going to kill another mannequin or 2 just inevitably in the course of things, but it's not necessary at this point. We are officially done with our fighting kills. And now all we need to worry about are the shooting kills and the items. And we're chilling. So we're going to come back through here. Oh, just get a little bit body blocked by that. That's cool. And come through here. We need to do a little quick save when we put these in, which hopefully gives me some movement coming out of this. I haven't talked about it very much, but you do have the ability to move James during cutscenes. Like you can see, coming out of that, I was already like 5 feet away from where I started. And that's because I did a little quick save after the interaction. Though that is a strat that you have to be careful about, because you can soft lock. You can effectively put an item into a puzzle and have it leave your inventory, but have it not be in the puzzle. So you can effectively remove it from the game in a way that you can, more or less soft lock, potentially hard lock. A few extra pickups here. I love this room just because there's some very fast, tight movement. And then we come here and we combine, of course, the wax, the lighter, and the horseshoe to create a handle for the door, which I've discussed so many times would never, ever, ever work. The wax, it would slide right out. None of that would work. And it happens in the remake too. No. They change it in the remake and they show that the wax attempt with like the failed attempt where it's clearly detached and did not open the grate, which is awesome. And now we have a nice little 1-minute elevator ride. Great time to just reload, make sure we're stocked up. As you can see, every item in the game currently in our inventory. We are not going to get the great knife. We don't really need it, just in terms of item count, and it's a little bit out of the way. If we did need an extra like 5 item pickups, there's the great knife and I think like 4 rifle ammo pickups all in the same room, just right on a table. And early on, when I was like working on sort of figuring out the route and learning all the item pickups myself, I did used to go and grab the great knife and those rifle ammo pickups, but sort of cutting out all of the pickups where we have to go out of our way in exchange for the ones that are already on our route is sort of the name of the game. So coming into Labyrinth here, and Labyrinth goes by pretty quick in original Silent Hill 2 speedruns. In sort of like glitchless Silent Hill 2 remake, this is one of the largest sections in the game, but for our purposes, it's going to be like, I don't know, like 2.5 minutes, maybe, if that. This solution is always the same, regardless of the difficulty, so no issue there. It is based on RNG, but all of the seeds seem to have the same RNG, which is kind of interesting. And we are going to grab the wire kit cutters right there. And just don't get sprayed here. You can also see our total damage is at 233. The majority of that is from the bug room. And that's why it is kind of important that we don't overuse the hyper spray, because like I said, every time we use the hyper spray, oh my gosh, too much stuff in our inventory. Every time we use the hyper spray, we take a bit of damage. So it is one of those things where you have to just spritz and not spray consistently to avoid doing too much damage to yourself. Although, you know, things would have to go pretty tragically wrong for us to end up above that 500 damage threshold. That's really more of an issue before you have the green hyper spray, when you're playing with, you know, just regular weapons and stuff like that, because it's really hard to get shots off on some of these enemies without taking damage yourself. If you are doing sort of a more new game 10-star run, you know, trying to get the green hyper spray for the first time or whatever. But yeah, almost done with Labyrinth here. As you can see, pretty much every turn is the first turn that you could possibly make. Like we're just immediately making left turns, and that's kind of how you speed run through Labyrinth. It's very easy. We're doing a tech storage here because there is a boss fight, and it's done. There it is. That was the Abstract Daddy boss fight that we just walked past. If you store text, the door that triggers the boss fight never forces you to go into it. So we don't have to do that boss fight. Even if we did in this category, it would be like, I don't know, all of 4.5 seconds, maybe. It would take longer to skip through the cutscenes than it would to actually do the boss fight. Although in other hard difficulties, the Abstract Daddy boss fight is kind of a pain unless you have the great knife. So yeah, just not doing it all together seems to be the play. And we're gonna come over here to Maria. We kind of saw her die in hospital, but now she's kind of dead for real. Or she, like, I don't know, she spilled some cranberry juice on the bed, and James is just, like, assuming the worst. I don't know. I don't really know. It's been a while since I watched any of the cutscenes. So we're coming up to Eddie right now. And Eddie, probably my favorite character personally. Just not because he's a good character or like a good person by any means, but just because he is a very conflicted and interesting character. And we haven't really seen much of him. And admittedly, we're not going to see much of him at all for the rest of the run, because he is hyper weak to the Axe body spray. The Axe body spray works super, super effectively on Eddie. Look at that. Just couldn't be any shorter in any other category than with the hyper spray. That's as fast as it gets.
Slightly irrelevant here, but one of my favorite things is Eddie has this like giant death scream, right? And James is always like, Eddie? Like that as he killed him? Like,
yeah.
Dead?
He's like, oh my gosh,
I don't know if
human
you
being.
ever looked at the plank only run.
Oh yeah.
We only use the starting weapon.
Yep.
There's a glitch you do where you get Eddie stuck and you hit him with the plank like 300 times almost, and then he just dies. And James, after hitting him 300 times, just like, Eddie?
Oh my god.
Eddie, are you okay?
That's awesome. Yeah, Eddie in pretty much any of the hard categories, which plank only is a category that they do in hard. I've never done plank only. I've considered it. It's brutal. It's that Eddie fight alone is like 5 or 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah. And I ended up routing that whole thing. Mm-hmm. And the worst was actually the dual pyramid head.
Yeah, you have to get them to attack each other, right? I think that's like the only way. Yeah. Yeah, that's awful. That's pretty rough. Yeah. No, I think it's pretty long. I think it's about as long as I imagine. It's probably like a good 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah.
You have to get them to attack you so they don't attack you, but it's constant
good stuff. We have, I believe, all of the items that we need. We should be all good here. We're just kind of wrapping up. I know it looks crazy, right? We're only at 118 items, but we're gonna pick up a ton in these last few areas. Also, stinky. I love how James covers his nose when he sprays the hyper spray. It does imply that it is like a joke fart spray in my mind. So coming through here, we're gonna do an out of bounds. This game only has one out of bounds really, and it's pretty cool. It only saves like a minute and a half in terms of out of bounds game breaking sequence breaks. It's not like that big. It just kind of avoids us having to do the whole drop your stuff off at the elevator section and then take the elevator and then come back up in the elevator and then go and get your stuff. Like it's more tedious than it is time save, though it is like, a good minute and a half is pretty massive on this run. And we're going to pop out right here. All good. Very easy out of bounds. I mean, I made it look a little easier than I should have, but once you get it down, it's a very easy out of bounds. You basically clip through that little staircase on some weird collision, and we use text storage to avoid accidentally hitting the load zone for the previous area, and then we just run in one direction. You literally just hold up, essentially, once you're lined up for it, and you pop out right where you need to be. It's super convenient that the map is actually laid out in a way that allows us to just directly traverse from sort of one area to another. There aren't really any other out of bounds that anybody's found in this run, actually. There's been like some theories about what could be done. Also, canned light bulbs, right? But nobody's ever really come up with anything practical or replicatable or anything like that.
I think there was one thing that worked out, but it's incredibly niche.
There was another staircase that I remember somebody saying that you can do something on. Yeah.
Early game, right after the apartments, right before right before you encounter Maria in the park.
Right. Yeah.
There is an out of bounds you can do that it skips the meeting and just gets you to the other side of the park. But the goofy thing is, I don't remember why either. It only works on the HD collection.
Of course.
So it's one of those things where, not really all that useful, is it?
Yeah, that's the worst caveat I could have possibly imagined.
Oh God, I had actually. I think last time I've done this category, rather a 10-star, it was actually on the HD collection.
Oh no!
And I had to do it twice. Because the first time I messed up the 10-star, I think the bug room went wrong.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
And with the 3 saves, I think I used it right for the boat because we didn't really see it in this run because keyboard is nice.
Right. Yeah. So normally that boat stage, when you play it on hard, you have to row the boat with the analog sticks like as if they were oars. So you have to swivel them around. It's a pain. It's really, really hard on the hands, among other things. There's a strat where you hold your controller upside down and like wiggle it back and forth and it works. But unfortunately on PC we could just use the keyboard. WASD works fine.
It is so much nicer.
Yeah, it's great. Also, we have picked up all of our items successfully, +2 actually. So those 2 extra items that I grabbed that I pointed out, it was exactly +2 past what we needed. We only need one more item, and it would be super embarrassing to forget it now. And that is the Crimson Ceremony. Is that what it's called? Something like that. The red book. The book. It's a red book. It's a book and it's red. and we're gonna go get it. And that's the last thing we need. So we got our last 2 shooting kills, as you may have seen with those abstract daddies. And we are going to grab the Crimson Ceremony. That's the one. And now we are at 142 plus 8. Shooting kills, 75. Fighting kills, 78. Our boat stage, believe it or not, was under 1 minute and 20 seconds. And parking lot. And that's GG. I thought we were soft locked at the very end.
Oh, good. We'll see the time of the ending screen, but enjoy the ending.
Yeah. Remember all these cutscenes we didn't watch? GG's. Let's see what our total time is.
You got a 44-14, and let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10
Yeah,
stars.
that's 10. That's 10, all right. Thank you for having me on, Nick. Really fun run. I don't think anybody's ever done this for a GDQ, whether it's hotfix or main stage
first
or
time
anything.
shown in general for this category. It's a very unpopular category. I don't remember how much we talked about it, but I definitely think one of the reasons people weren't too keen on this category was the shooting kill bug or whatever it was.
Yeah. It does really help in Enhanced Edition having the tracker. This tracker is actually built into Enhanced Edition. If you're interested in running 10-star, I can wholeheartedly recommend it. It's really not as bad of a category as it might sound on paper. Once you learn the routing and stuff like that, it's very, very easy to just get stuck into it and bang out attempts. But yeah, thank you again for having me on. My name is Needle. I stream on Twitch here just about daily, or 4 or 5 days a week. You can also check me out on YouTube. That's where I upload PBs and little commentaries and various things. And I also have a presence on TikTok and Instagram and all the other socials. But if you want to connect with me, I do speedruns on Twitch like all the time. Drop me a follow, hang out, check out some 10-star. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing that run of 10-star. I definitely know how hard that category is, and it's very impressive that you managed to get the 44-14 on that. It is pretty cool, as we can see.
Yeah, not bad.
Absolutely. Once again, as well, if you did like Nidal's run of Sonal to 10-star, he does quite a lot of horror games and some other pretty cool games as well. We've had him on before. A really cool run was Ghostwire Tokyo Tatari. A lot of those really pushing the limits on some of these games. So definitely check them out. The link should be in chat. We do have one more run for you. Before we get to that, just as a brief announcement, if you are ever curious on wanting to appear on GDQ Hotfix, we're now accepting submissions for the winter season. If you got a run you love to showcase on the channel, send it our way at gdq.gg/submit/hotfix. Or all right, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hope you all enjoyed the run of Silent Hill 2. To clean up for the night, to just kind of finish on up, we do have one more run for you, kind of continuing on with the 100% theme, kind of going with the little completionist category here. This is a game that, maybe you know, maybe you don't. It's a pretty cool one if you like that clock tower type horror. Anyway, we're going to be taking a look at Remothered, Tormented Fathers, all collectibles featuring Jewhorse. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Jewhorse. Welcome to Remothered Tormented Fathers. Today we're going to be doing the all collectibles category. This was a backup run for SGDQ 2025, believe it or not. It was also on the same category, all collectibles. I did not get to show it on SGDQ 2025. Instead, I showed a different game. But, for the sake of not showing it and for the sake of you guys are being here right now, I'm gonna show it, and I'm gonna collect all the collectibles. Hopefully I collect all the collectibles, because if I don't collect all the collectibles, the achievement, which is called the collector, will not pop up. But if I do collect all of it, the achievement will pop up. But if you do not know about Remothered is a spiritual successor to something called Clock Tower. It's a Clock Tower-esque kind of game where you have a stalker that is chasing after you and such. Also, this game is almost 8 years old. 2 weeks later, after today, will mark the 8th anniversary of this game. And also, probably the 8th year anniversary of me meeting Ecdysis as well. So there's that. Other than that, we are gonna get into the game. So there's that. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So if you do not know anything about Remothered Tormented Fathers, don't worry about it. We are situated in somewhere in Italy, and we are playing as Rosemary Reed. She looks like Jodie Foster, like everyone. If you have played this game before, she actually looks like Jodie Foster. The creator of the game, Chris Darrow, wanted to make her like Jodie Foster. And hey, you might be thinking, hey, why am I going over here right now? Oh my god, there's scissors already. And we are collecting the first 2 collectibles of the game, which is outside. You cannot go outside in this game. In the later game, so we are going to be collecting the first 2 collectibles right now. In total, there are 19 collectibles plus 4. They actually give you 4 collectibles in the early game, or in the start of the game, so you have to collect 19 collectibles in the game. You know what? Why not count with me as well? 2 collectibles so far. But yeah, we are gonna get into the Felton Mansion. This houses 2 people, actually. Dr. Richard Felton, which is the main guy that we are trying to like figure out why stuff happened. There was a kidnapping that happened, or like there's some person that went missing a long time ago named Jennifer, and we are going into the Felton Mansion just to like interrogate this guy. And then there's another one called Gloria Ashman, who's the caretaker of Dr. Richard Felton. We'll get to all the story stuff later on and such, but yeah, this is Gloria Ashman. She is the caretaker of Dr. Richard Felton. We are in the prologue. The prologue is about like 3 minutes long. Believe it or not, if you were to go through all the cutscenes of the game, or like in the prologue, the cutscenes in the prologue, it would take as much time as the 80% run of the game. So, God, the cutscenes are like 30-40 minutes long, and it's very long in the cutscene alone. In the prologue alone, sorry. Also, goddamn, I'm really tired. I just woke up. It's like 1 p.m. in the afternoon here. I just woke up. So pardon if I slip up with words and such, but yeah. There's a lot of stuff that happens with Remothered. If you don't know anything about Remothered, don't worry about it. Just know that you become bad guy and kill a bunch of random people at the end of the game. That's it. That's all you need to know. But if you want to play the full game, you can try to check this out anyway. Yeah, we became the bad guy afterwards. But we'll talk about that later on. All right, this is going to be the third collectible that I get. 3. All right. Cool. Now we are done with the done with the prologue. We talked to Dr. Richard Felton. Dr. Richard Felton was like, "No, I don't want you anymore." And then yeah, we got kicked out, but we got back in. So there's that. Anyways, 4. All right. This is a picture of like some family. I don't remember what it is, but it's a collectible, so we had to take it and such. But now we are gonna be going or like trespassing into Dr. Richard Felton's house, and now we are gonna go up towards oh god, the wife's bedroom, I guess. I don't remember what the wife's name is because I have not run this game in a long time. Adriana Felton, that's the one. There you go. Okay, at least I do remember. So we go into the bedroom of Adriana Felton, and then we look at her. Oh my god, she is hideous. But don't worry, she is a mannequin, if I'm not mistaken. In the story, it's kind of like very convoluted, is that she's a mannequin. She was supposed to be Dr. Richard Felton's wife. Later on, you find out that this is a mannequin this whole time, but the story gets a lot more convoluted because stuff happens with the mannequin and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, if you want to know a lot more of the story, you can always check this game out.
Now get some rest, love.
Hey, you know what? Dr. Richard Felton's is right there with a sickle, gloves, and an apron. But also he's butt naked as well, so there's that. Anyways, once we are getting out of the closet, we are starting off with the game right now. All right, 5. So that's Adriana and Richard. Right there, they are married, happily married, and we are gonna be getting the key to the ground floor corridor. So this is where the game actually begins because there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to the first floor and I'm gonna do what we call as the, oh my god, okay, never mind. You know what? Give me a hit. There we go. I'm gonna intentionally get a hit. This is very intentional for the strat that I'm gonna be going for. But we are gonna go to the ground floor corridor to do what we call a 3-item grab. Alongside with getting all the other collectibles as well in this game.
I'll make you.
So in this area, we are gonna be collecting 3 items, and then we are gonna book it. So the first item that we're gonna get is a plunger. I don't know why they put the plunger in the kitchen. The second item we're gonna get pretty soon, other than this thing right here, 6, is a tape, and we need this tape later on. But also at the same time, the reason why I get an intentional hit is because I'm gonna try to set myself up to stun me later, and then do something called a hit glide. So whenever I get hit by any kind of enemy and interact with the item that I have, I can actually move around freely, and it happens like that. All right. This is 7, I guess? 7, I guess. I'm pretty sure this is 7. All right, now again, another intentional hit, and now we are gonna do the quick time event, which will stab Dr. Richard Felton, stun him for a bit, and then we can actually get the metal wire that I need, And then we are gonna be looking at this painting. Eight. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's 8. I'm gonna miscount and such, but I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna hope. Anyways, we're gonna go back to the kitchen because we need one more item, which is why I come back here for the handle. And now there's a film that is inside the oven right here. So once I get this film, I'm gonna book it right behind him, and I'm gonna do a glitch right here that could teleport me to the other side if I could actually do that. There you go. Wow, very cool. We're gonna try to alert him as well, and then we are gonna book it once again. We're gonna book it all the way to the 2nd floor to do a bunch of stuff, and then just follow the objectives and such. But yeah, this is the 3 item grab. It's very fast. Normally people would just casually just sneak around. This is mostly like a game full of stealth, but I hate stealth. So yeah, I just go through the game wherever I want to. But yeah, we go to the 2nd floor, we go back to the bedroom, and we are using the plunger for the bathtub right here. But I'm pretty sure it's 8. 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 8. 8 out of 19 so far. All right. Now, this is where another mechanic is gonna come through right here. So if I were to press my F key right here, I can actually push him aside. This is something where if I have a lot of stamina, where you don't see the red border, I could actually shove an enemy aside that would use up my stamina, and then you can't really push anyone anymore, as you can tell with the I don't have enough energy. So I'm gonna use the metal cable right here. There we go. Also, at these cutscenes right here, when we are doing like a movie kind of cutscene, if I'm not mistaken, that has the camera panning and such, I can actually replenish my stamina and I can push him aside like this. There are certain parts of the game where you can actually just regain your stamina and push enemies away, which is good. But for now, we are gonna go all the way back to the 2nd floor and touch a dumbwaiter because we need the dumbwaiter for something. This is a very confusing game as well. Stuff goes from A to B, B to C, C to D, and it's like very confusing, but it is what it is. All right, we touched the dumbwaiter. I'm gonna do a trick that I normally don't do. So you open up this cabinet, the lights go out, and then you just move. She's actually standing still while moving, as you can tell with the feet. Oh, he's here. I'm gonna try to move aside like this. Okay, there we go. So this is lights out. Lights out has 3 different patterns. I got the bad RNG, but he could be in 3 different areas of the game during lights out. We got the bad one, which is him just being very near to me. I don't like that, but it is what it is. But we are gonna go to the 1st floor and just do that. So we go to the generator and we are gonna try to avoid Felton. And then we are gonna go all the way down to the basement. Whoa, don't say that. Naughty. All right, we're gonna get a key right here. We're gonna get a pendulum clock key. But I have not done a cutscene, so what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm gonna use my throwables and actually throw at Richard Felton. And that will stun him for a bit, and then I can actually run all the way up to the study room, which is where I need to be at to continue on with the game. The whole premise of this first part of the game is that you want to get some stuff so that... Oh god, this might be actually really bad. Okay, never mind. You want to go, like... Ooh, this might be really bad. Hold on. I'm gonna be quiet a bit. 9? Oh wait, no, 10. 10. Oh god. Okay, I might have to like be quiet for a bit. This is not going well. This is not going very well at all.
This house is not open to the public.
I was supposed to hear him talk, but he did not talk. So I had to like hide. We had to do the stealth. The optional stealth is here, but yeah, that was 9? I don't know, I don't remember. Anyways, probably 9. But yeah, if he talks, he won't come into the room. But because he didn't talk, I had to really do the stealth part and wait for him to actually go away. Oh my god, he's right there. I did not realize he was right there. Can you move away real quick? Can you go to the left real quick? Mister, can you go to the left real quick? Thank you. Thank you. First time in a very long time that I've not seen this happen, but sure. Alright, 10. But yeah, the whole premise is that I'm supposed to be going into this room, trying to put a tape and a battery. I forgot about a battery. Oh, that's why. Okay, wait, I don't have a battery. Now I remember. Okay, this is gonna be optional routing right here. This is actually optional routing right here. Oh my. Okay, this is why my estimate is quite high, because now I need to remember stuff. Okay, yeah, the whole premise of what I needed to do is to actually grab some stuff to play a film. There you go. That's what it is. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna try my best to lead this guy towards me because I need to. Okay, I'm gonna blame this on my sleepy brain, so there's that. Hee hee. I'm definitely sleepy. Alright. Here is where I needed to go the whole time. I'm so stupid. I forgot. Alright. Alright, let me put this pendulum clock key on the pendulum clock. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we have 10 collectibles so far. Jump scare! There we go. So I don't know where he is at this point, so I'm probably gonna do some improv right here. I think I need to do some improv. Oh, never mind. Alright. I'm gonna take an intentional hit, because I'm gonna get another defense item along the way. Oh yeah, I need to mention about the whole defense item stuff. There are different unique items in the game. There are throwable weapons, there are defense weapons, there are placeable weapons and such. Diversion items, that's what it is. We are not using the placeable items. We are using a lot more of the throwable items and the defense items, which are like knives and any sharp pointy objects and such. Anyways, I got the battery. Yay! Yippee! Alright. So part 1 is done. Alright, we're gonna say part 1 is done. But then again, we get captured, and then we are just trying to save ourselves right here. Felton is actually praying to a picture that we need to actually get as a collectible later on. Don't worry, we are gonna be escaping pretty soon. This quick time event is timed, so you don't really have to do anything. You can just like slowly just click left and right, and that's about it. She will drop whenever. But we are needing to escape. But there's a catch. Say hello to your new enemy. So the red nun is right behind us, and we need to get out and hide ourselves from the red nun. But I'm gonna try to do a skit right here if I could. No, I can't. So what I wanted to try to do was a red nun skip. Basically, if I were to try to pull Felton back towards the door, he could actually clip inside the door, thus blocking the red nun. But because I did not do so, and it's a one-time attempt, I had to run around the study room and lead her away from me, because basically the trigger of the objective is actually just to get away from her. But if you get away far enough from her, you could actually just, you know, get the objective done. If I were to turn around right here, you can see that pop up the top left. There you go, top left. And now we meet another person right here, which is Jennifer.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different names in this game. Like you got Felton, you got Gloria, you got Jennifer. Then you also have Celeste as well. Hey, Celeste. Orb. Anyways, we met Jennifer, and now we are gonna be trying to get up to the attic to figure out why Jennifer is hiding in the attic. Hey, you know what? Spooky noise. Ooh. All right. Cool. I think this is 10 or 11. I think. I'm gonna be very forgetful right now. 11. I think so. Let me think. 11, 12. Might be. I can't remember, but it is what it is. We're gonna say 11. All right. Stuff happened, and then an umbrella fell down, and we are gonna be getting the umbrella right now. So this umbrella is gonna be used for the attic, but how am I gonna get to the attic when the red nun is back and blocking the way? We're gonna take a detour. One is because it's better as a detour, just to not get hit by the red nun. But two, we are also going to be collecting another collectible right here, which is here, 12. I think it's 12. I can't remember. I hope it's 12. All right, there you go. Cool. Now we actually get to use the umbrella for the attic door. Pull it down. Now we swing our mouse around. There you go. By the way, this game has like really high sensitivity. You cannot change the sensitivity in this game. I have no clue why. There's like no way you could change the sensitivity in this game.
Hello?
But yeah. Oh hey, the mirrors are squared. Haha. Anyways, 13. I'm pretty sure it is 13. All right. Ooh, jump scare. All right. Jennifer is just right there this whole time. She was just in the attic. We were getting scared and such. And now Jennifer's like, oh, you fell. Boo-hoo. Now I'm going to grab you towards the one of my rooms now. All right. This is a skip that Dices actually found. So there you go. That's the skip. If you open up the door, because basically the red nun is now with us as well in this little area right here. So in order to not make a lot of sound, we need to actually open that door up slowly so that it doesn't alert the red nun. And if it alerts the red nun, it's gonna be really, really bad. But anyways, we're gonna grab some batteries and actually go all the way down to the basement once again, because we needed batteries for oil. A lot of stuff. Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of going from A to B, B to C to D. It's very confusing, but take it as it is. The game is kind of confusing at first, casually. When you try to play this game for the first time, you just really don't know what to do. It's a lot of cryptic clues and such. But yeah, as a speedrunner of this game for like almost 8 years, I know what to do. I say I know what to do when I almost did not know what to do doing the battery part. So whoops. Anyways, we got the oil. If you do not know what this oil is for, basically we if you play this game casually, you have to go to a fireplace and actually go behind the fireplace just to figure out that there's a cart, but the cart is not movable. Anyways, we got to see the red nun again. All right, we got to push the red nun aside. Hey, you know what? We can show this off. Hey, red nun skit part 2. There we go. She's running in place because there's books, and the books actually clip her into place. So hey, you know what? Red nun skip 2.0 actually succeeded. All right, I'm gonna grab this brick just in case, because we are gonna be trying to use all of our throwables to mirrors later. But yeah, it is what it is. Any lore to why I'm a horse? I am just a horse. The horse year, that's why. Oh wow, I went through the other side. Cool. No worries. At least the red nun is not right there. There's that. All right. So we are in the secret fireplace that in the game, if you play this game, Jennifer actually talks about a little secret hide place. There's a secret room behind a fireplace. 14. There's a secret room behind this fireplace, and we are gonna be trying to investigate this fireplace. But yeah, you know what? We can't really push this cart, so we need oil to lubricate the wheels, but not just all the wheels, the back wheels. The back wheels. And now we push. I don't even know why is it the back wheels, but it's the back wheels, but it is what it is. 14. Indeed. I'm pretty sure we are on track to reach 19. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, we are in Jennifer's room, and now Jennifer has like 7 mirrors, and we're gonna get like 49 years of bad luck because we are gonna smash all these mirrors with all the collectibles that I have. In the whole game, during the first part of the game, I have been collecting all these like throwables so I could actually use them to throw at these mirrors. I need one more. I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible. I could actually do this as quickly as possible. There we go. Cool. It skips the cutscene. You don't have to see her moving around like a silly old woman. And that was a cutscene skip. All right. We get to hear a recording. Never mind, we don't hear the recording. And then there's mobs that appears. That is very aptly named in this game. All right, cool. We are gonna go into the closet, and then it drops us all the way down to the sewer. And now I can go all the way back because there is a collectible right at the back. So that is 15. I'm pretty sure 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. We are on track. We are on track. I can't believe in my life we are actually on track. 15. But yeah, this is the next part of the game, which is the RNG sewers. I say RNG because we are gonna be getting stabbed a lot. So in RNG sewers, I need to hopefully get at least 2 stabs on the first part, and then the main 4 stabs on the next one. If I do get 2 stabs, that's really good RNG. 3 to 4 is actually kind of decent enough. 5 to 6 is actually really bad. Okay, we got 1 stab. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like at least 4 stabs right now. Maybe. Ooh, okay, maybe 3. Okay, I need to not miss these quick time events. So these quick time events, if you do the quick time events, these things will come down. And if you fail the quick time events, they kill you. And it's really bad and such. So we do all these quick time events. And the cutscenes actually take about like 2 to 6 seconds. There are some longer cutscenes, there are some shorter cutscenes, but you know, we got through the first part. The second part right here will always be 4 steps unless, I don't know, something happens with some kind of movement stuff. I've only gotten 3 steps like once in this second part of the sewers. But it would never happen to me ever again in my life. 3. and a 4. There we go. These are all mandatory, so I had to take all of them. So in the end, I got 8 steps out of 10, 12 steps I could actually get, which is fine. Just totally fine. And now we are gonna go into the wine cellar. Did I say 15? 15. And then we are gonna get our 16th. 16.
They can't be the same.
All right, we're gonna do a manipulation right here. Thanks to someone called Jonome. We throw a brick right there, and then it alerts one of the stalkers who are in the cellar at the moment. Oh, who's in the cellar at the moment? Which is Jennifer. And Jennifer has a nail gun, so I really do not want to mess with her. So we do this manipulation so that she could actually hear the brick getting broken right there. 17. I'm pretty sure that's 17 right now. 17. Oh my god, 2 more. 2 more, and then we get the coveted collector achievement. But yeah, we need to also turn these valves to shut the steam down, and I can actually go through the whole area. And I'm pretty sure that she's right behind me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's like right behind me. All right, steam goes down. Bye-bye, steam. Bye-bye, steam. No more games. All your games belong to us. Me. Anyways, she's right behind me all of a sudden. So now I have to block her way. So this is kind of a strat that I found out by accident. If you reverse the orders by going to this metal shelf and then go back to the wooden shelf, it actually gives you the key quickly. So it gives you a key. You're not supposed to get this key, but you get this key. And then they give you like a secondary key afterwards, which I don't know how they gave like a secondary key, so they dropped like 2 keys and it's like lol. Omega lol, I guess. As you can hear there, the second key there, right there. Anyways, we need to escape. The whole premise of this game is to escape because we trespass and then we said, we need to get out of here because there's a bunch of bad people, baddies. Look at that baddie right there. All right, we're gonna throw an item at her. All right, we're gonna stun her. We stunned her. And then we're gonna try to go to this elevator shaft right here. Please let me in. Thank you. And then I'm not gonna jinx myself. All right, I'm not gonna jinx myself. I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not gonna jinx myself because plenty of times I so-called die here. So let's hope to not die here right now. All right. So the elevator was going up, but all of a sudden it went down because the red nun was like, hey, I need to go down. I need to go down. And then, yeah. Okay. Did not jinx myself. Basically, you can no-clip through the elevator and drop all the way down. And, yeah, you have to restart the game all over again if that happens. I didn't want that to happen. Anyways, we are gonna be meeting Gloria, which is the caretaker of the game. If you've seen her in the earlier part of the game, we actually need to meet her right now. So, all right, this is the final 2 items that I need to get.
So what?
But we also know that Gloria is evil. I have failed. Oh, cover your eyes, chat. Cover your eyes.
I think she has it done for you, Jura. She's got him covered.
Ah, my eyes! My beautiful eyes! I'm sorry. Alright, we'll try this again.
So what happened? Oh, Gloria.
There you go, that's better. Okay. So we're gonna get the last 2 collectibles right here. 18. And... hopefully 19. 19. There we go. Yeah, collectible. We got it. We got the collector. I am free from my sins. Because like Dices was telling me beforehand, saying if you don't get all the collectibles, he's gonna punch me in the back of the head.
I don't remember telling you that one.
Maybe. But hey, you know what? We are clumsy right now because, hey, you know what? There's stuff that happens. She appears out of nowhere, but it's also because we got drugged by something called cortisone. We got drugged by cortisone, and now she is like wobbly at this point, and then she's also having some hallucinations. But also at the same time, cortisone is very powerful in this game. I don't know how powerful it is, but also at the same time, Jennifer, as we all know, is actually Richard Felton this whole time. Yeah, if you want to find out more about why Dr. Richard Felton is Jennifer, just play the game. But we need to escape from here. Oh no! Mr. Felton, please! Mr. Felton, wait! Wait, I can explain! Do you like to burn? Well, rest in peace. This is our first guy down. And we need to get the second person down as well. Look at him, it's all burned in a crisp. Yeah, the whole story of this, the whole story in this game is that you just kill 2 innocent people. You trespass into here and then you just accidentally kill 2 innocent people. That's about it. Hey, you know what? We're gonna try to escape. Yay! We're escaping. Yippee! Surely this is the end of the game, right? Right?
Early.
Psych!
I really thought I'd let you go. No, not this time.
Alright. We got her stabbed in the eye. During the cutscene where I skipped in the infirmary, I think Jodie Foster right here, Rosemary actually took like 2 syringes. Whoa, calm down. Yeah, she took like a couple of syringes so that, you know, she could use them to her advantage, and she used them to poke Gloria's eyes. Is Jennifer him or is he Jennifer? Jennifer is him, but could be her as well. It's a whole story about like why Richard Felton is Jennifer, Richard Dean Felton the whole time. But yeah, it's a whole story that I don't want to unfold. But yeah, you just gotta have to play the game for yourself. Anyways, we are in the attic, the other attic. Oh no, she's here. She also has like teleportation powers. I forgot about that. One thing about the Red Nun, if you ever play the sequel, which is Broken Porcelain, is that the Red Nuns can have like some teleportation powers and such, and she has that teleportation powers. Hey, you know what? This is the 4-minute attic run. All right. Hopefully we can go through this. There you go. All right, cool. Anyway, she teleports once again. Boom. Calm down. But anyways, I'm gonna try to grab this knife just in case. This defense item. Basically, if I actually get kind of screwed over with the last part of the game, I need this defense item anyway. But oh my god! For the first time! Why didn't the mob get me for the first time? That's icky. Boo. Anyways, we're gonna crawl. By the way, this crawl actually like ties with your FPS. If you have higher FPS, it actually crawls faster. If you have low FPS, the crawl is gonna be really, really slow. Anyways, we're gonna alert her right here. Go to this cart, push this cart, and then we go through the other side. But yeah, I don't know why the crawling part ties with your FPS. Like the higher your FPS, the faster you crawl. The lower your FPS, the slower you crawl. You can see that in like if you ever play this game on the PS4. Because you have 30 FPS, and 30 FPS allows you to crawl very slowly.
Celeste was a wise.
All right, now I have like a couple more collectible, not collectibles, throwables, so I can actually throw at her. All right, now I can switch this generator on. And this is like the final minute or so to get out of here. And yeah, this is all collectibles. I hope you guys enjoy it. Shout outs. Who do I shout out? I shout out the people who ran this game like years ago. I can't believe this game is almost 8 years old. I can't believe I ran this game 8 years ago as well. I started running this game 8 years ago. This is one of the first few games I actually picked up as a speedrun. So there's that. Shout out to Jonome. He's one of the few people that actually like found a lot of strats, a lot of routings of this game. I also did help out with the strats and a lot of the glitches that you actually see in this game. And then shout outs to people like Demonic Robots and a couple other people like Dices as well. Hi, there we go. Sorry. GG. I speak a lot. GG. Cutscene, yeah. If you like stuff that happens in here, look away. Actually, don't look away because you can actually skip in this game. All right, we're gonna skip towards here because, you know, we don't want this 10-minute cutscene. But yeah, that is all collectibles from Remothered Tormented Fathers. If you want to pick up this game, you can always pick up this game. Pretty cool game. Trans rights, because why not? It's very relatable in this game. So trans rights. Other than that, I'm Juho or Juhors. I stream every now and then. I am a horror/variety streamer, or like speedrunner. So I'm a Hans. And yeah, Igdices, if you have anything else to say.
That's that about covers it. Thank you for doing the run there, Juho.
Did she find?
I would tell you where people find you, but you already kind of got that covered.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch. Sorry, you can find me on Twitch at Juhors. That's JUHORSE. I stream. You can also find me on YouTube. On I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Alrighty. Well, thank you once again for that run, Juho. If you did enjoy this run of Remothered Tormented Fathers, Juho does do quite a lot of horror games and some silly games, so go ahead and check that at the link. It should be somewhere in the chat there. Anyway, thank you all for watching this episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. It was fun being just back in general. I hope you all had fun at GDQ. It is nice to be back. And we will be back once again in, I want to say, about 2 weeks. I'm never sure on the exact event cycle, but we should be back in about 2 weeks with more horror gaming. As always, I do put on these shows for Speedruns from the Crypt. I've been your host, Igdices, so if you like any of them or ever curious, I do a lot of my own streams, so I'm somewhere around, I don't know, my name's somewhere on the screen. You can find it there. Thank you to anyone who did give subs, donate bits, or anything like that, because that does keep the show rolling during the interim. And also, I guess just a special thank you to anyone who does stick around from the main events to the hotfix. I know coming off the trails of AGDQ, a lot of you are still wanting more speedrun action, and we're here pretty much the whole year, so it's always nice to those of you who stick around. I just want to give that thank you for myself personally. Anyway, stay tuned as we resume our AGDQ 2026 event replay. I'll be having it live all week in between our live shows on GDQ Hotfix. You can also tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for a Thursday episode of Do All the Things. With that being said, hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night, and take it easy.